Hey, 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 good morning, everyone, or afternoon, depending where you're located. Happy Tuesday. How's everybody doing today? Good to see you, Roddy, Jason, Lori, Go Bulldogs, Baby Firefly, Lindsay Lee, Scooter McBooters, and Goody Two Shoes. Hey, Solo, Granny Bassmasters. Good to see all of you. Hey, Catherine. How's everybody doing today? Oh, Lindsay. Yeah, let me see if I do appreciate that. Lori actually dropped it above. I don't know if I can click that. Welcome, Scooter. I appreciate you joining. Thank you. Hey, Blissful, Miss Robin, Gary. Good morning, everyone. Hey, Tammy. Girl next door, kill shot. How's everybody doing today? So, did everybody see the new interview? And hey, Kels Bells. The new interview and the spokesperson for Seth is out here doing his job and all of that good stuff. Crime Brulee, good morning. I thought we would go ahead and take a look at it. My 4-year-old daughter can't. Oh, Lindsay, I'm sorry to hear that. Hey, cool gamer. I like your new photo, Lindsay. So I was scrolling the tubes, and Sebastian is everywhere, which is a great thing. Hey, Colleen, but what's not so good is the rumors around it. So for some reason, people are back to hyper focusing on the mattress, right? And that's because the neighbor, alleged neighbor, I mean, come on, came out and said, oh, uh, I know that, this child was forced to sleep in a garage. And all these people are like, oh my goodness, so that's running rampant. And I was watching a video where they were speculating what could the mattress be? What was with a mattress in the garage? My goodness, the things I have in a basement I don't live in, whew, let me tell you, people can make up a field day. I mean, I got toys down there. That means the kids were stuck playing down there. You know what I mean? Like it absolutely was debunked, and people shouldn't be focused on things that are not fact. I agree. The whole thing's ridiculous. And it was also stated by Chris that the mattress was given to him by his sister, which is actually very common. And it was never stated to be a mattress. It was actually a bed set. So let me go ahead and pull up some interviews here. I am waiting to see in here. Welcome back, Lindsay. Thank you so much. I'm waiting to see in here if this photo is Sebastian. My fingers are crossed. I sincerely hope it is him. I have a feeling it's him, but of course, what would I know? I'm not part of the investigation, the case, or any of that stuff. But it does seem to resemble Sebastian a lot. And if we go back to what that organization was saying, they were believing Sebastian to be in a different state. Now, another rumor that's going to fly today. Well, I didn't say anything. Chris referred to it as a bed set. That's what Chris said, a bed set. Hey, Trish. So we'll play that. We'll get to that. There is going to be a rumor flying rampant today because unfortunately some kids that were fishing, I believe it was Mississippi, um, fished up a human leg with a sock attached. Hey, OG fish. Badly deteriorated, obviously, in the water. Hey, Jolie's pristine. And that is going to be. No, I know, Jason. That is going to be the rumor today, I'm sure. Hey, time traveler, true Texan. With, of course, the afterthought of the fact that this is a 15-year-old child that is being speculated on. This is somebody's child, grandchild, cousin, you name it, brother, all that good stuff. I'm hoping that this is Sebastian on the screen, but we'll have to wait in here. Good morning, Nicolina. We will have to wait in here. So this is the first time I saw Seth do an interview with his new spokesperson. who, from my understanding, is not qualified to be a PR or spokesperson. SF Investigates seems to be really against this guy for the most part. Let me actually pull some of that up. Okay, so I'll show you guys this first. So here's SF Investigates. Glasses, pants, that's what gives me faith that it is Sebastian photo. I hope so too. It's now hopping around YouTube. That's what they always do, right? That's exactly what his private investigators did the moment they were hired as well. My son tried to talk me into letting him move into our garage. I told him no. I was afraid he would sneak out at night. He was 15 years old. Ooh. Hey, Wendy. Mostly being a trees today. A whole lot of outdoor work needs done. Seeds get planted tonight. Yay, I did that yesterday. Hey, Lucy. I more than I think would be necessary. Just my opinion. Hey, Revival. So SF Investigates writes, I'm stepping away from Twitter until the Sebastian Rogers case concludes, unless there are major updates in any of my cases. This case deeply troubles me. The individuals involved in it unsettles me. For those new to the missing persons community, please understand that this case does not reflect how cases are typically handled or the characters of those involved. While first impressions are crucial, once this case concludes, all those associated with it will likely have done so much damage to their reputation they won't be part of the community any longer. You'll then witness the true nature of our community, how it rallies around victims and their families, rather than engaging in baseless accusations and intentionally causing pain on others for their own entertainment. Well, I got a few folks that come to my mind. Hey, profiling, Victoria, Chanley, good morning, Chicken Feet. The appointment of Tony Mathis as the spokesperson is the final straw for me. He lacks any experience in media relations or public relations. It seems like a calculated move. Now, let's stop for a moment and discuss that. A calculated move. What do you guys think he means by that? Hey, what the croc? What do you think he means by a calculated move? Because I've also considered the same thing. Good morning, Miss Kraken. I hope you have a good day at work. A calculated move for what? What would be the intentions of this move, if you will? Hey, Steph B, Deborah, good morning. No, no. Um, the removal of one of the private investigators, which Tony will frame as everything is swell moment, who opened a dialogue with the TBI and the Sumner County Sheriff, is a blow to the case since they were the only person on Seth's team that Ellie would talk with. That's interesting. Tony will never have that connection. Law enforcement simply won't collaborate with an individual who has 3 felonies for fraudulent check writing, 6 liens, and 12 judgments against him. Lord have mercy. Let's talk about it. Oh, wow. That is interesting. Fraudulent check writing, 6 liens, and 12 judgments against him. Hey, just breathe. Right, go Bulldogs. Uh-huh. What the fuck is that? Pardon the language, but that is a moment. So let's carry on. They won't associate with felons, which will isolate the entire Seth Rogers group, making them appear as cohorts taking direction from a felon. It's a damaging image, and one has to question why Seth is so desperate to involve someone like this. There must be something significant about to transpire. So I said the same thing. Why is Seth even hiring a public relations, a spokesperson, if you will? Why is he dropping what would be private investigators that, quite frankly, the public paid for, to now have a PR? Scooter says, why is Seth hiring these shady people? Clearly, he isn't doing his homework on these people he's hiring. Is that what it is? Do you think that's what it is? Well, thank you, Lori. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. So chicken feet. I didn't know. I wasn't even really aware that people write many checks anymore. So this is getting a bit odd. I mean, you know, I like the bunnies. What bunnies? Oh, okay. I understand the PR guy is working for free. I'm sure he is. This is great publicity, right? Well, and then there's the downside. There's the downside because then everybody digs into you, like we see right here. So, you know, I'm sad, so sad the coverage on Sebastian is starting to lessen. I'm not happy about Steph's decision to hire Tony to PR. Do you feel like people are punishing Seth for his decisions by basically saying we're going to step away? Hi, Titanium. Does a lot, leaves a case when he doesn't get his way. Really, Miss Robin, that's interesting. Hey, Natalie. Oh, that's right, my other one. Thank you. You had me so confused. Due to get money from the people in a situation, claim he pays the spokesperson X amount of money and they split it. Mm. The PR dude and Chloe are free. Heather was paid and he let her go. I didn't like Chloe. Hey, well, he's older, right? I don't know who you're talking about. His charges could be old. I was just thinking these new kids probably don't get that charge anymore. Transpire, right? What could that mean, Rocky? If he's working for free, where's the thousands of dollars that was donated to Seth going? Sis, I'm with you. So let's carry on. And whoever recommended this individual to Seth, I generally have no idea, has cast a shadow over the entire missing persons community. We all look incompetent. Law enforcement would be so reluctant to ever work with private investigators after what has happened here. I've never witnessed a case like this. Many people, including professionals, will suffer the consequences. I don't understand why they'd allow it, why they chose this hill to die upon. My heart aches for Sebastian. This chaos is unfolding in his name. My God. So you feel like this is part of what he does? Where'd you go? Where'd you go, Miss Robin? You think this is just like typical of SF? Creators are pissed. They try to move on to Mika Miller's case and they found out that it was a self-harm and now they don't know what to do, so they're causing drama. I don't believe it was self-harm. I actually had a stream set for, was it Saturday, to talk about that. And then first there was Cajun Navy, then RSO with Brothers Underwater Recovery, now a felon PR person. What the hell? Well, Andy, we know the saying, right? Birds of a feather. I've said this in other chats. A professional PR couldn't even clean up this mess, let alone someone with zero experience. This is a high-profile case now. He's going to be eaten alive. Seth was afraid people wouldn't search once they found out about Sebastian, but they're doing it because of him. I guess my opinion doesn't bring Sebastian home. Just saying. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Plummy. He's a nighttime jail guard, not being an ass, but what experience does he have with public speaking and PR? I mean, seriously, he probably liked the way the dude drank beer or his AC/DC shirt. Well, shit. Okay, then. So I know Seth is a nighttime jail guard, but is his PR as well? As this is all he feels worthy of with his background? I don't know, OG Fish, but I will say this. The fact that it was bad checks, I would love to know when that took place. The fact that it was 3 makes it a little different. And the fact that this guy immediately, joined the one and only Facebook page for Sebastian and whatever. So let's carry on. I'm not leaving Twitter permanently, but I will be absent until this case concludes. I can't bear to be associated with the community while this situation is allowed to persist. For any existing or new cases, please contact me via email. Since I won't be checking this post again, I'm disabling comments. Take care, everyone. Now, let's see if he did step away. He sure did. All right. What thoughts? What's everyone's thoughts on that? Who is that, OG Fish? So that's SF Investigates. He's a private investigator that is pretty well known in the, I guess, true crime community, you would say. Doesn't Ellie provide a spokesperson for families if they ask, or am I wrong? It seems like Seth still wants to hop on panels and spew his garbage against Katie and Chris. Ellie wouldn't do that for him. Interesting, sis. I I was saying Seth is a jail guard. He doesn't know what makes a good public speaker. Not being rude. It'd be like me trying to tell you what makes a computer programmer. I don't know. I get what you're saying. Okay. All right. Yes, that was SF Investigates. So this was the first appearance of of Seth with his new public relations speaker. Actually, it wasn't the first. I'm sorry. It's the first professional. The first was this one. Let me get over to that one. That was not the first. I apologize. And then I want to touch on the rumors that are taking place. I personally don't like them. I think they are, people are now spiking up the rumors because it will be a way to keep talking about the case. That's what's bittersweet about it all, right? If you think about it. Part of it is like, all right, but by these type of rumors being out there and these type of discussions taking place, it keeps Sebastian in the forefront. Think about Summer Wells. If we think about Summer Wells, it was the fact that Don and Candace were such, honey boo boo level type of characters that it kept people engaged. People, admittedly or not, enjoy a good shit show, right? That's why they came up with the shows they did on television. So part of it does keep Sebastian's name out there. Look at, again, not to always reference Summer, but the moment Candace and Don stopped going on these panels, some of these creators stopped speaking altogether. Hey, gorgeous. So, it's like you take the good and the bad, I guess, right? Wasn't involved in this case, just was giving his take on things. He was very passionate about his work and the missing. Yes, so that's what I concluded too, spiritual being. Matter of fact, if you look back, it was SF that stated a lot of people will be owing the Proudfoot's apologies. So I don't know. All right, so this was 3 days ago.
Taking over as spokesperson for Seth Rogers. So first I want to bring in Tony Mathis and, of course, Seth Rogers, of course, in the chat. Good afternoon, fellas. How y'all feeling?
Good evening. Hello, Team Sebastian.
So that's odd. That's a little bit odd. Hey, Jude. Hello, Team Sebastian. Like that. I mean, his PR told him to say that. You just know it. Hey, Paulie. Well, hey, Savannah. Thank you. Christine sucks. That's what Chris Proudfoot put on Facebook one day. And I have to agree with him there. Hey, Diana. Good morning, Alicia. In this interview, count how many times Sebastian's name is brought up. All right, we'll keep count. Has done thus far has been calculated. I agree with that. He doesn't want anyone suspecting him. Well, isn't that what they say about a lot of cases? How many will even give them revival? I'm with you. Hey, Thor. Yeah, I agree with that. He's a little obnoxious. He's a bit of he's passionate is what I'll say. Hey, Tessa. So then why hire someone to talk for you and still go on panels? Right. I don't know. It's all bizarre. All right, let's keep count. So we heard Sebastian's name once. So let's put a 1 in the chat. Keep count with me here. I said that too, Sassy.
Yes.
How you doing, Pascal?
I'm good, my brother. I'm good. First off, Tony, we got to get straight into it because I know a lot of people are going to sit there and go, wait a second. Tony looks mad familiar. Haven't I seen him on something else before? Yes. No, you didn't see him on a rerun of Friends. You were seeing him on the most recent case that he's still on and still a spokesperson for Caleb Harris. So I want to say, first off, thank you so much for stepping forward and linking up with Seth.
I want to know how they linked up. Does anybody else question how they linked up? Oh, well, thank you so much, Rocky. Yes, thank you, Miss Robin. I just am not as suspicious as some people, I guess. I believe people are innocent until there's tangible proof otherwise. I don't mean someone reacts differently than I might. And that's so fair, and I really do appreciate that. I try, but obviously I have my probably unfair opinions, But I do appreciate that. What I was really happy about is the progress in the poll For the past 2 weeks, or once every 2 weeks, I have made a poll, which is unfortunate. That is even 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. That's so sad. But the answers have started to change, and I really like that. I really like that. No, first off, GLM is a black woman. So your username right off the bat is ridiculous. Secondly, this is about a missing child, not your personal vendettas with another creator. If you can't read a room or have time and place, then I don't have any time to discuss anything with you. Please know where you're at.
To be his spokesperson.
Of course. Of course.
Now, I'm curious, Seth, why are you having a spokesperson now?
It's been 66 days since my son has gone missing, and
66 days. This was 3 days ago. Can we point out what's scrolling across the bottom of the screen right now? Oh, Pickle Bar. Good morning, Grady. I just want to throw this out there, and no shade. But Pascal is the one who told Seth to get a hold of Tony in a live. He recommended him to Seth. So it's no wonder their first interaction with the public together would be on Pascal's show. That's very interesting. See how the dots connect? Because one of the first things Tony said, or Seth said, is they won't be doing interviews. But yet they did an interview for Pascal. Oh, hands in the jar. Hands in the jar. But yeah, join our Patreon. Here's my cash app.
dealing with searching, making sure that people are getting vetted, dealing with interviews and everything else. It's time consuming. It's stressful. And when he
Sebastian, he's an attorney and ad libitum. So many accusations. Teach yourself and others the help me hand signal. Easy to do. And most law enforcement counselors know it. Could save a life. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you.
offered to assist me with it, God send somebody.
That's what's up. Now, and I love that there is going to be this new alliance. You got Tony coming through, and he's going to speak on behalf of the case, because I know that you have a lot going on for yourself right now, Seth. I mean, as far as just being on there, boots on the ground, trying to find Sebastian right now, there's a lot going on. You know, you're traveling quite a bit. There's a lot of chaos, and there's got to be someone who can actually be connected to the media while you go out and do what you need to do. So, Tony.
So this was all suggested by Pascal. And why does he need somebody to be with the media while Seth is out searching? Well, what is this? I mean, yes, that's what somebody just said, Penny. Penny says, I believe Pascal linked them up. I remember Pascal stating last week at some point he had resources that Seth could utilize to help him. Could be wrong, but in my opinion, that's how they got linked up. That's what we were just told by Pickle Bar. Keep grinding. The shameless huckstering and grifting to make money, garner likes and subscribers to these YouTube channels. I mean, after 70 days, they've got to think of more ways to pull people in, and it is sick. Hence the rumors about the mattress. A day one speculation shut down on Nancy Grace, but here we are, right? Here we are anyway. Hey, Zero. Pascal said to Seth he would get him with Tony 100%. Ooh, and Zen is confirming that as well. Very interesting.
Welcome to the search. Welcome to the story. How's it been so far with this whole thing right now?
It's been good. I mean, Seth and I have gotten
I'm going to pause really quick because I want to point out what Pascal just said there. Okay, you guys tell me what you think.
How's it been so far with this whole thing right now?
With this whole thing right now, with the search for a missing child, how's it been?
It's been good. I mean, Seth and I have gotten close. I've had some good conversations with him. I've also had some good conversations with Chris and Katie. My goal was to initially try to bring everybody together and limit some of the the drama that had been out there in the social media streets, as you say.
As you say, the social media screets is what he says. So let's think about this. Again, I go back to the putting the toothpaste back in the jar. Good morning, Jill. Tony is Steph's babysitter. I think that's a good thing because he needs one. Fair enough. He said, welcome to the search. Uh-huh. Sounds like he's wanting an update on the market, right? It's pretty grossly stated. So, whew. On the YouTube streets. The first thing this news person needs to clear up is the photos driving a tragedy leads just crazy. That's just one more thing that's causing speculation and confusion. I mean, I get him trying to be positive and everything. There comes a time when you have to just be a good human. I would assume so. I refuse. You know what I've noticed though? Like we've been saying, what happened? The tides are starting to turn on Seth, which is unfortunate because it's going to be a very hard fall. Good morning, AT. I wouldn't be surprised. Yep, I agree with that, Brian. I wouldn't be surprised either if Seth ends up with a YouTube channel.
Right.
And simply want to help get everybody redirected and find Sebastian. So again, I've had a lot of good conversations with Seth. I've had good conversations with Chris and Katie, and we're not completely done. I'd love to represent them all three and get everybody working together.
Can I ask you that though? Let's get that. Let's get that out of the way. Get the elephant in the room out the way.
The elephant in the room out the way. So Spiritual says, I seen a psychic say he told Terry Lynn the location to go and she found the pants. Oh, was it Terry Lynn? Put a 1 in the chat. Was it Terry Lynn that found the pants? Can you confirm that? You guys confirm that? Was that who found the pants? Terry Lynn. Terry Lynn found the pants. Huh. Wow. Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. Does it remind anybody of Gabby Petito's water bottle? Or how about the actually plastic toy knife that was found outside of a church for Summer Wells while doing a live of all things, Mr. Tomato Head? Very interesting. Wendy Blank says, I have deep concerns as an outsider. Why doesn't Seth have anyone in his personal life that is willing to be there for him? Tony is a personal friend of Cal Harris' father, so that makes sense. This, not so much. She found them while searching live. Oh, you like it, Summy? Don't apply though, please. I like you a lot. Very interesting. She found them while searching live. All off of a psychic's suggestion. That is all she does, Mama. That is.
Has there been any conversations with the Proudfoots, and why aren't you representing all three right now?
So I've laid that offer out there for Chris and Katie. Again, I had about a 2-hour phone conversation with them last week. I felt like we were in a good place. I made it known kind of how I operate, which is I do control all the media. I really would like, as I've told Seth and I told Chris the same thing, told Katie the same thing.
I really control all the media. Well, one of the first things you should do is get your friend, your new friend, off of a drama ladies panel. Hey, Beachy. Okay, so let's hear that again.
Felt like we were in a good phone conversation with them last week. I felt like we were in a good place. I made it known kind of how I operate, which is I do control all the media. I really would like, as I've told Seth and I told Chris the same thing, told Katie the same thing.
I control all the media, not for nothing, but you would think somebody who controls the media would know to control themselves while sitting on camera. They're rocking back and forth. If you are a public relations speaker, you'd be sitting up. You wouldn't be leaning back, rocking back and forth. He's very relaxed and not very professional, in my opinion. But, I digress because what do I really know? Sweatpants on Amazon 20 makes 2,000 finding the pants. Nice return on investment. You said it all, Mr. Tomato Head. Because they probably don't trust him. Everyone Seth has picked has ties to social media. Facts. He was hired and he was on a panel the next day. Same thing as the private investigators. This guy is brand new to being a self-proclaimed spokesperson. He has no clue what he's doing. How I operate after my experience of one. I agree with that, Kathy. I do have faith that maybe that photo is of Sebastian, especially since the police have been pretty quiet. But, you know. Yes, Terry Lynn found pants. Why haven't KP and SR gone to Ellie and look at pants with their own eyes? Why say Ellie says wrong size or faded tag? How do you know they didn't go to look, Karen? Respectfully. How do you know if Katie or Seth have even gone to look? I mean, honestly, the whole thing's bizarre to me.
I really would like them to be out from in front of the camera. I think there's been a lot of drama, a lot of deterrence from finding Sebastian. And really, I'd like to take control of that for them and get everybody united to finding Sebastian. So, you know, one of the prerequisites when we do an interview is, as I told you earlier today, is, you know, if I was representing Chris and Katie and I was doing an interview with them, there would be no talking about Seth. And when we do an interview with Seth, we're not going to discuss Chris and Katie. We're not going to throw darts at each other. I'm going to lead by example.
Oh, please. Again, you can't put the paste back in the tube. Wendy says, oh, this is so irritating. He spoke out of two sides of his mouth in another interview. He said he didn't seek Seth out. Seth contacted him, but then he said he reached out to Seth literally in the same breath. I bet so, Elizabeth. Ellie's upset that the photo got leaked. I would be too. I would absolutely be too. Hand signals when to be quiet. He may, Rocky. Do you, Michelle? I hope not. I'm so tired of amateurs interfering with police investigations. Their searches are not done the way gross searches are done. It's all amateur detective bullshit. It is, as somebody commented a little bit ago, very Blair Witch-like. Needs a media manager for his missing child. Can you imagine if Chris hired a public relations speaker? Could you just fathom? Yeah, that's true, Karen, but that doesn't mean Katie didn't go. But with respect, the person who found the pants is Seth's, you know, friend. They're very comfortable with each other. Okay, I never do, but sitting on a YouTube panel would be the last thing. Throw darts. What in the Barry Murphy were you even saying, sir? Virtual darts, I get it.
And we are going to focus on finding Sebastian, just like we're focused on finding Caleb on the other case I'm working on. So blessed to be a part of this. And I think we got a lot of work to do, but I'm up for the challenge.
No doubt. No doubt. Seth, anything you want to add on top of what Tony just said?
Turtle Madness, I disagree. I don't know if she planted them or not. I lean more likely towards yes. But if she planted the right size, that would open up, you know, the police coming in and, you know, a whole search, and it would open up a lot of doors. So actually planting the wrong size gives the YouTube drama side of it what it wants without getting the police too far involved. You know what I mean? Hey, Sunnyside. He is now a movie star. Gotta love.
His goal is my goal. To keep Sebastian in the forefront. Sebastian is the goal. Everything else is a distraction.
So that's 3 times we have heard Sebastian's name. 3 times. Keeping count here.
We just want to find Sebastian and bring him home.
That's 4.
Right on. Right on. I think we all can agree on that, right? Every single one of us that's in the chat. I mean, even so, I know that there's going to be some pushback, some people that feel some type of way about anything about this case, but we can all agree. We can all agree on that one thing, which is bringing Sebastian back home.
So that would be 5. Okay, so again, who cares how the people in the chat feel? Who cares what the public thinks, right? This is about a missing child. Hey, Kasha, it's good to see you. Coming from the person who decided to bring out all the info that started this shit show in the first place, right?
So let's talk about Sebastian. There's been some new information, some photos, or at least a photo that recently dropped. And I want to share this with you guys because, of course, I know you guys already know about this, but I want to
Facts.
confirm a few things. Okay. So here is the photo itself. Okay. Of course, this was found, or apparently there was a sighting at the visitor center at the Grandfather Mountain, Linville, North Carolina.
I saw a creator went to this location. They went to this location. Why? I don't know. What were they going to find there? Footprints? I mean, it's been how long since this alleged photo was taken? But they went.
Now, I'm very interested to know, in your personal opinion, Seth, since we have you here, do you believe this to be a sighting, like a legitimate sighting of Sebastian?
I believe so.
That's fantastic.
Okay. Now,
I know that I jumped in my vehicle and drove to North Carolina.
Enough that I jumped in my vehicle and drove to North Carolina. I'm glad that he went to North Carolina. That is fantastic. I don't know if praise for that is necessary, as I've seen some people doing, but I am glad. People throw nonsense in that would go well in a movie. You're right, Rocky. I hope this doesn't ever become a movie. And if it does, I pray is with a happy ending that this is Sebastian. Seth shouldn't be answering questions. His spokesperson should be responding to Pascal. This is all for show and is sickening.
I'm glad you mentioned that. So you drove all the way down to North Carolina to the actual space, to the place where this photo was taken. Was there anything in particular that you saw or anything of that sort before we get into the more finite details? Was there anything like to confirm that this was an actual sighting of someone and that this was not actual AI?
My
You there,
private
Seth?
investigator, she did reach out and spoke to the person who took the picture and to the person that posted the picture.
So his private investigator reached out to the person who took the photo and the person that posted the photo. Said creator couldn't even measure himself correctly. Said he was 5'9" or 5'8", but he went to do an experiment to compare heights and distances. Okay. Wow. I didn't know that. I don't follow it very much. Is Seth back at home now? It doesn't look like a hotel. I believe he is, because when he went, he wasn't given many answers. Seth is very gullible. He can't take Ellie's word or Katie's word. CPS connection to Ellie. Why believe Katie about size or about anything? Seth didn't know about CPS involvement. Well, Karen, I'm very glad you're writing all of this, because it's actually Seth that has connection to Ellie. How do you feel that Chris does? What is his connection? It is Seth who works in the local corrections office or building. Why believe Katie about size? Well, why shouldn't Seth know his own child's size? Why does he need to believe Katie? Shouldn't he know the size of his child? And she wasn't the one that found the pants, right? The police said it wasn't the right size, or about anything. Seth didn't know about CPS involvement. Do you know about Seth's CPS involvement? I bet you not, because a lot of people don't. A lot of people do not know that there have been CPS calls against Seth pertaining to Sebastian as well. There's a lot of problems with all of this.
Okay, so there was actual conversation with somebody who actually took this photo, right? Okay, so Tony, do you mind expanding a little bit on that for us?
I was not involved I was involved in the conversation with Seth while he was almost all the way to North Carolina.
Okay.
And I told him that when he got there that he was probably going to be disappointed, that they probably would not. This is when we had heard there was footage. And I explained to him that they were probably not going to share the footage with him.
Okay. So Kate says that she is a volunteer firefighter. Thank you. Just so people know, grid searches are done by 2 separate teams to ensure accuracy, and so a potential suspect cannot plant evidence during the search. Many creators running around with cameras making bullshit. They straight up changed Sebastian's weight on the poster. He was 120 when they put on the shirt, says 106. When they put it on the shirt, says 106. Right. Sometimes confidence is silent. You know what I mean? Yes, and that curator said there were no pictures up. I thought Seth said he took some pictures there of Sebastian.
And when he got there, he kind of figured out that that's what the situation was. And I explained to him that it was new information, and until it was vetted, it was going to be held close to the chest. And quite frankly, I completely understood why law enforcement was doing that. And when they vetted that information, if it was information that they deemed to be relevant to be disseminated, then it would be disseminated to, to Katie and to Seth. But we've got to verify that is him, and they've got to do their homework, and we've got to be patient. But I completely understand why Seth, if I was a father, I'm in my vehicle and I'm on my way there just like he was.
Absolutely. Anybody would be. And he's right. Tony's right on this. The police have to do their research. They can't just, give out their investigation. They have to keep things close to the chest in order to preserve the integrity of what they're seeking.
Yeah, no doubt.
He used it as a great opportunity to hand out flyers, create some awareness, ask some questions. And, I was certainly proud of him for getting in the vehicle and heading right there, no questions asked, because that's the same thing I would have done.
So you're proud of him for doing what somebody should do? Okay. I think those are the things that, for me, get a little tiresome. The praise of things that shouldn't be praised, right? The praise of what would be expected, I suppose. I don't know.
Right on. So when it comes to Seth, real quick, the conversation that your PIs had with the person who actually took the photo, what exactly did they say? What was the interaction like? How did they get this photo taken? So on and so on.
I wasn't privy to that conversation. My private investigator already knew that I was going to want the picture vetted, and she reached out. She did that prior to me asking. So when I turned around and asked her, she said she had already vetted the picture, and
that's what a PI should do. Thank you, Teresa. Good morning, Teresa. Thank you.
Okay.
Loaded up and headed up there. When I got there, Tony was right. They would not let me see the video footage. So I took that opportunity to hand out flyers. Nobody knew my son was missing to begin with. It is North Carolina. It's outside of Tennessee. But I used the opportunity as I went up there. Every time I stopped for gas, use the bathroom, anything, hand out flyers the whole way up and the whole way back.
Great. That's fantastic. That is one thing we can all do, right? We can all print out a few flyers. You can print out one flyer, go to your local library. I believe it's 5 cents to make a copy, and go ahead and put them all over in your location. A lot of people forget, while a lot of us are completely, following this case through YouTube, the majority of the masses are not. So like Seth said here, a lot of people were not even aware of Sebastian being a missing child. So that is great. That is great that he stopped places to put out flyers and hand out flyers. Hey, Vibrator, good to see you. Good morning. In my opinion, everyone is making a big deal about a kid that doesn't even look like Sebastian. I feel like it does look like him. Put a 1 in the chat if you feel like it looks like Sebastian. Put a 2 if you don't. I'm very curious because I feel like it does. Thank you, Wee Frosty. Please tickle the thumbs up. So a drone software that automatically flies our preset grid, and we can put video through Lock 8 software to pinpoint a specific color our eyes might miss. It's amazing stuff. That is amazing, Kate. Wow. Okay, so we do have a lot of... The PI walked away because of Tony, not because of Seth. The PI didn't want to work with Tony. Which should tell you something. If SF investigates another PI and this PI both don't want to work with this guy Tony, what would you all rather have? I see a lot more ones. Okay. would you rather have a PI or would you rather have a spokesperson? I think for me, I'd rather have a PI, but it's not me, thank God. I'm not in that situation, so I shouldn't really, I can't really judge. CPS does not stop investigating because CP says Sebastian made a false claim. There's 72-hour hearing after go to home, then a 30-day investigation before it's dismissed. Right. Which means they came to no findings, right? Because he remains in the home. A PI for sure, PI, yeah. That's what I said. Who gets rid of an investigator for a public speaker that doesn't even have any degree in public speaking? I agree.
Well, I mean, I'm glad that you used your resources in the best way possible, right? And kept spreading the word even when you were down there and all your path back home or back to Tennessee. But can we talk about that for a second? So you went all the way down there, right? You went all the way down to Linville, North Carolina, right? Because you saw this photo, you believe that it is to be that of Sebastian. You go down there, you ask, can I see the photo or can I see some footage? And they said,
who did that, Turtle Madness? Who did that? Huh. Turtle Madness says the PI stepped away because they produced half-naked pictures of her, and that's not right. That's not what she wrote on Facebook. She literally said she was stepping away because Tony was stepping in. But you know what? That's what happens, though, when you come out and jump, headfirst into the drama of a missing child case. It looks like a missing child I saw, but I'm busy, so I'll take a pic and not intervene. I don't get it. I agree, Trish. I agree. Very shady.
no, why did they do that?
Hey, Steve.
Seth? Do you know?
It's under investigation. They informed me that law enforcement had told them not to share the video until everything had been vetted. From my understanding, TBI reached out to North Carolina, what they classify as SBI, and asked for their assistance.
Interesting.
Let's remember that Seth is claiming that TBI, FBI, nobody's doing their jobs. They're all being paid off by Chris Proudfoot and all this other ridiculousness. Hey, World Peace. But yet here they are. Here they are following leads. They do a lot more than people realize. What blows my mind is the amount of people that disparage the police until they need the police, right? So because the public doesn't get the answers they want during these investigations, they badmouth the same police. It blows my mind. Good morning, Wah.
If it's under an investigation, they're not going to show it. They're not going to release it.
But I feel like naturally a lot of people are going to react the same way. I'm thinking in my head. It's like, this is your biological son. You have rights, don't you? So why wouldn't they let you go and see this footage? Tony, can you expand on that a little bit?
Oh, Pascal, you've been doing this too long to be acting too stupid. So vibrator, just wanted to say, just in case they are listening, I don't know you personally, Granny, but I've been put on blast that I'm your spy. Man, I have a lot of spies working for me that I'm unaware of. I appreciate each and every one of you. BJ even was able to say the second I subscribed to your show. Right, because she's my spy. She's my stalker. She's obsessed with me. So that is very bizarre that she's able to pinpoint the moment somebody subscribes. I'm sorry that you were being thrown into this, Vibrator. Leave my subscribers alone, Brittany. Looks like Sebastian. Mob crew analyze and measure phone, height, shadows, unique left eyebrow arch, unique to Sebastian. Very nice young man and platform, measured arm. That's fantastic. They did all of that.
So I broke this down for you earlier today, and I broke it down for Seth the other day, and Seth can answer this question as we play through this. If they show that video to Seth, and that video shows Sebastian walking into a vehicle and getting into a vehicle with a stranger, and Seth catches a glimpse of the license plate on that vehicle, Seth, what would you do in that situation?
Retrieve my son by any means necessary.
Exactly.
By any means necessary.
Oh, by any means necessary. Imagine if Chris said that. They'd be like, he's threatening death on people. BJ is my Martha. Absolutely. I have a stepson that looks more like the boy in the pic or Sebastian. The boy in the pic has different skin tone, different hair color, different chin. I think this pic is someone else. I think it eerily looks like him.
So
Yeah.
that's why.
Okay. So that makes sense.
Well, what a great public speaker. What a great public relations guy. That was fantastic.
To a certain extent, but I feel you on Seth's side. My knee-jerk reaction would be, I'm knocking on that door. Okay. They're gonna know my presence like lickety split, right? But I do get it that they want to make sure everything is properly vetted before they release any type of information. But
okay, so let's go check out the new interview. I think that's enough of that. Let's go check out the newest interview, the News Nation. Because, like I said, although they said they're going to stop doing interviews, they have done nothing but interviews. So here we are. Here is the photo that they're claiming is Sebastian. To me, it eerily looks like him. I am very curious for the end results. I feel like if it was not Sebastian, they would come out by now and say it wasn't. So their silence to me is speaking volumes. A lot of times we can hear a lot more during silence than we can with words, right? The general public cannot pull a license plate number, only DMV or police. Well, don't forget, Seth has connections. If the person was prepared to take a picture, why not video him? It could give more clues. I didn't like the person's answers to anything. Their son didn't want them to get involved. They didn't want to get involved. The whole thing was bizarre. I absolutely love ice cream. I've also heard this was an older photo of him that was leaked. I'm curious to what you all think of that. But I will say, I really do think it looks a lot like him. Well, I believe that's why it was asked if there was ever a photo taken of Sebastian in this location by Seth. Due to his hair and skin. Okay. Yep, Nancy Grace tonight. I wonder if we're going to hear anything about the failed polygraph. His spring, his skin color would change his looks. Absolutely. So my son gets blonder hair in the summer than he does the, rest of the year. Exactly, Loxy. That's what I said, sis. Good morning, Billy.
News Nation has not authenticated it, so there's a possibility this is a case of accidental misidentification or of a deliberate and sick hoax. His father, Seth Rogers, says there is video of the sighting as well. We're hearing.
So there is video of this. Oh, well, that would be the footage of the business there. Duh. If there was footage, though, wouldn't the police come out and say there was no footage of this child on the cameras? Or, again, it takes a lot of time. That much we know.
Authorities are looking into it, but whatever it is, the image adds a new twist to an already bizarre case. And joining me now is Seth Rogers, Sebastian's father, and Tony Mathis, a family friend who was helping Seth and his family out.
So now Tony is a family friend. Have you hit the thumbs up, by the way? Please hit the thumbs up. Video the sighting so the photo isn't fake. I mean, it may or may not be him, but there apparently is video. I agree. Family friend. Family friend. How quickly he jumped to a family friend. And not for nothing, but if your title is public relations, public spokesman, wouldn't you be a little more, again, professional? I don't know if wearing a Hawaiian type of shirt is professional. I mean, maybe, Only 96 money moves. Well, I appreciate you being number 96, but we got to get it up there. Seth says there's video. He said there's video because he saw cameras at the building. Well, that does... right, so it doesn't mean there's a child on the footage. This guy's everybody's family friend. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're starting to pick up on that, right? Has anyone asked Chris or Katie about the pic? So Chris said he doesn't think it was Sebastian. Has Sebastian been there before? Do they recognize the clothing? In my opinion, the picture is old. It was released so that FBI could get involved since that petition was useless. That's a very interesting thought. Huh. Again, why is Seth sitting on a panel? Riley Strain's family did all the speaking for Riley's family. The family never sat on panels and answered questions. And this guy said they weren't going to be doing panels, but I believe they're on their fourth one as of later tonight, since he was hired, 6 days ago? Come on, we have over 300 viewers. There's no way we should be under 100 thumbs up. Let's hit the thumbs up, please.
Thank you both for being here. Seth, I've got to ask you about this photo. When you look at it, do you think it's Sebastian?
I do.
You're sure?
Pretty sure.
And I understand you drove to North Carolina to check it out.
Imagine this, right? Imagine your child is missing and you tune in to social media to see what is claimed to be a spotting of your missing child after 2 months of missing. Why do people go to social media first? Do you know how horrible that would feel? I couldn't even fathom. I can't believe that people are more into clicks and views than they are the feelings of other people, other humans, other parents. Again, as a parent, I could never. I'd be furious. I'd be absolutely furious. Have to come on social media and see an alleged sighting of my child. I just think it's so cruel. People are so cruel. Let the police say, so I'm going all over the place. Oh, Plummy, that's interesting.
What did you find?
Drove to North Carolina to see the video. I was told that the video was unavailable to me because of an investigation.
Where did the video or the photo come from? Do you know?
My private investigator has spoken to the person who took the video. The picture was taken at Grandfather Mountain in North Carolina.
And why would he? Your son is autistic. Does he know?
So I agree. Who is the lady? Now, a lot of people, ironically, have put together that the lady looks a lot like one of Seth's relatives. I don't know. And that is absolutely why Chris was mad, Loxy, but people dismiss that fact of it and they just focus on the fact that Chris was mad. Oh, did you hear? Did you know I saw the most ridiculous rumor the other day? It made me sick to my stomach. All right, let me read it for you. I don't even want to put it on my screen, so I'm going to read it to you. Tell me what you all think of this. A triggered Chris Proudfoot letter from subscriber. Put a 1 in the chat if you're listening. I want everybody to listen to this. I want everybody to fully hear what I am about to read to you all. And I want you all to put yourself in this man's shoes. These are the lengths people will go for clicks and views. We just rhymed. Just call me Rapper Granny. All right, everybody's waking up. I'm going to give you all a second to wake up. All right, lots of people awake. So let's read it. Let's read this. You ready? Drive carefully, Mama. What the cape say? Let's see. We see down here, MB agrees. Let's see what the cape say. People are cruel. It's Sebastian we care about, not the drama around his parents. Sadly, Sebastian was lost in the smokescreen of drama. I agree, and it's very unfortunate. So Here we go. You ready? Quotation marks. So this is quoted. So hilarious you're doing this show right now. Chris calls Brooks and yells at her, and he is so triggered by him because last week we named him No Ass and said he had moop, which is male boobs. Remember, this discussion is based around the disappearance of a 15-year-old child named Sebastian. And we got a so-called true crime creator labeling his stepfather No Ass and then stating that he has moop, man boobs. He called Brooks a F-got, a derogatory name towards gay people, the F word, because I guess that's his favorite word. Well, tonight, because of today's show, he called her pissed because she said he is too short to wear size 14 shoes and he's small, according to his ex-wives. He literally told her he was going to F her with his 15-inch COCK and her husband could watch. That's how sick this man is. I've talked to the neighbors. They all have the same stories. He really is an awful person. The worst was when Brooks asked, "Do you miss him?" He responded, "Who?" Wow, there's nothing more I can say. Hell, vile. End quote. Followed by a poll asking, do you think Chris Proudfoot is too short to wear size 14 shoes as he claims? So let's read this again. A triggered Chris Proudfoot letter from subscriber. So hilarious you're doing this show right now. Chris calls Brooks and yells at her, and he is so triggered by him because last week we named him No Ass and said he had moop. He called Brooks a F-got because I guess that's his favorite word. Well, tonight, because of today's show, he called her pissed because she said he is too short to wear size 14 shoes and he's small, according to his ex-wives. So now they're discussing the alleged penis size of a missing boy's stepfather. True crime creator. He literally told her he was going to F her with his 15-inch cock and her husband could watch. That's how sick this man is. I've talked to the neighbors. They all have the same stories. He really is an awful person. The worst was when Brooks asked, do you miss him? He responded, who? Wow, there's nothing more I can say. How vile. Where's this phone call at? Where did this conversation take place? You're a true crime creator, allegedly, who is focusing on labeling and making a joke out of a missing child's parents' last name. Okay. Labeling him No Ass and saying he has moobs. And then you proceed to talk about his penis size. And we're supposed to believe that he called you and said all these things and you did not record it? Recurrent habit of being called names by those she engaged with recently. Maybe CP should have volunteered to be her marriage counselor. Common denominator, Brooks. Can you send me it, Tammy? I didn't say it. I just saw this. They'll record their phone calls. So where's this one? Did anybody hear this phone call? I would. I would support that, Scooter. I would absolutely support that. I think if more of these parents and these tragedies held these true crime whatevers accountable, there'd be less. His ex-wife is amazing. It is amazing, sis. Can you imagine if anybody reached out to their neighbors, their exes, their cousins? Oh, they'd be pitching a fit.
Anybody in North Carolina?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And how far away is North Carolina from his home? How many miles? Do you know?
It's about a 6-hour drive with no traffic.
Okay, so no idea how your son would have gotten 6 hours away to a whole different state with nobody that you know. Nobody you know in North Carolina, no reason for him to be there.
No, ma'am.
Tony, first of all, let's clarify your involvement in this case. You are not being paid by Seth to be his spokesperson. You're just volunteering to help him, right?
Correct.
Okay, so
So I agree, Kate, but I also think it's despicable to even be questioning the size, again, of a missing child's parent's penis. It's just, oh, I'm hearing Seth got cursed out. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to hear that. Where are you at? Where are all the people at that said Granny's so bad because she says unfavorable things about Seth? Where are you at to call out your own buddies when they do it? Oh, he sure did. Chris looks like an average male. I don't understand the nitpick hip features. Imagine if Chris got up here and said what he thinks of their looks. Holy sh! Yeah. And I don't think he's a
what
bad
have you
looking
been
guy.
doing? What have you been able to find? What aid have you been able to give?
So I've only been officially with Seth since Friday. I traveled all weekend.
Since Friday. It is Tuesday, and they've done 3 or 4 interviews. Can somebody tell me why Nancy Grace said she set up the lie detector for Chris, but Chris said that TBI would not allow him to take the lie detector test? Yes. Yes. Because as stated by even the private investigator, that if you are going to take a lie detector, that the TBI rather you take it through them. I would never take Nancy Grace's lie detector test, ever. But somebody did take it, and they failed. I mean, it was inconclusive because they fell asleep. So, yes, Lindsay. Let's hear that really quick. He's always gross, though. I'm sorry. When you spend the past year talking about an ex-girlfriend's alleged, the JJ, come on.
9 yards. And I was like, that makes more sense. Law enforcement doesn't seem to be concerned. Because let me tell you what, if I'm
tit for tat, you can think that, but I'm for instance to run with comment section. By the way, you guys, if you see
let me just go right directly to her thing. This is the one that was sent to me. Okay, let's check this out. If anybody would like to come up on panel, you're more than welcome. Just click the
live, which
the StreamYard link. It will bring you right up onto StreamYard. Never heard that at all. Just a no ass, a size 14 shoes, no penis size. That was said when CP went to visual to all get on same page, finding Sebastian. That's interesting.
by the way, is what we want to happen. What does concern me is that Chrissy and Katie Poo aren't concerned. Now, we did hear Chrissy Poo say he's got to sleep and he works hours.
Chrissy Poo and Katie Poo. This is so professional. Yeah, believe it or not, they still go to work every day. They're not profiting off their missing child, unfortunately. Criticize someone's looks while she hides behind a cartoon profile pic. Okay, reminds me of her buddy. Hey, Jet. I hope you have a good day at work, my friend. She has definitely talked about his penis size. Yeah, we're gonna hear it.
Well, why doesn't Mrs. Proudfoot hightail it down I-40 to find out if her son is over there? Makes no sense to me.
No, it doesn't. Does it make sense to you that some people can't drop everything and go fly to a different state? Okay. Makes sense to me.
Had a lot of comments over the weekend, and yeah, I had a lot of things, sent to me from other channels who will remain nameless. As we all know, in the real world of the internet, actually in the real world, when people speak out, they get lambasted. Instead of just listening to what they have to say.
Isn't that ironic coming from the person who has lambasted the parents when they've spoken out? Isn't that quite ironic? Wow.
Questions that
Right.
can't be answered or don't want to be answered for certain reasons are asked. Why didn't you call law enforcement? Why didn't you call law enforcement? Who says law enforcement wasn't called?
The lady herself. Is she paying attention? Didn't the woman that took the photo state that she did not call law enforcement because her family didn't want her getting involved? Mine too, especially with the like pill. Ew. I mean, listen, my voice grates a lot of nerves too, so I get it. Hey, Laura, good morning. All right.
Well, what about CPS? We know CPS was involved. That's the reason Seth was so pissed, because he didn't know about the CPS.
Which tells me a lot, because if you are involved in your child's life and you have parental rights to your child, you would be notified that CPS was involved. Again, CPS was also involved because of Seth. Everywhere you look, Sebastian is the one that was screwed over. The other lady took pictures, did call the cops. Thank you, Turtle. So Flo Mama. Good morning. I feel like it's been a while. Yeah.
Involvement.
Don't send it, Chris.
A lot of questions saying pressure washer is impossible. Now listen,
a lot of questions saying pressure washer is impossible. A lot of questions or a lot of statements?
did not say this was a gas-powered pressure washer.
No, you didn't say anything. You hosted a fake person to say it. That's what you did. You didn't say anything. You wanted the public to take that in a negative light. And when they do, and they come back with the actual, that would cause so much damage. Now you wanted, well, I didn't clarify. Right. Because it didn't go the way you wanted it to go. Come on.
We don't know if it's just like one of the portable ones with a high spraying.
Why didn't you ask?
Nozzle on it, or
respectfully, that's so dumb. That's so silly, because CPS spoke to Sebastian first. They always speak to the child first. That's the way it works. Sebastian told one of his teachers. The teachers called CPS. That means CPS came to the school, spoke with Sebastian, then they investigated the parents.
A high-powered nozzle on the hose. I don't know. I'm not going to get into what we're, I don't need the commercial brand, okay?
Well, I do. I want the commercial brand. I want the time and date. I want the temperature of the water. I want it all. If you are going to make an allegation such as, then yes, I want it all. And the case was closed, right? Which tells you more than you need to know. I mean, right? Okay. Let me grab a drink. Let me grab a drink. Okay, apologies. I had to step away for a moment. Hey, Arctic. It's good to see you. All right, let's hear it.
My question is, why didn't Chrissy Poo stop what was going on? Why didn't he tend to the meltdown as opposed to the mama running outside?
What the fuck is she even talking about? What is she talking about?
to quell the situation.
Blissful.
Makes no sense to me.
Because it's nonsensical. What you're saying is nonsensical. You're basing all this off of rumor. That doesn't even make sense. And you're deflecting from the fact that a power washer would cause more damage. Oh, golly.
It makes absolutely no sense.
Well, I don't watch
9 Lives Mama, thank you for the super sticker. I tell you what, y'all are making me blush. What do we have going on here? Radio.
Do you see what that is right there? That is a salesperson. I don't know if you guys saw, but you can get your very own Victim of Granny card. It's called being a salesperson. Thank you so much. Oh, you're making me blush. Yeah.
Yo Gods is back. Thank you for continuing your membership. You guys are the absolute best. We have a very special guest backstage. We had a great conversation yesterday, and I really want this man's insight.
Let me tell you guys something about the special guest. The special guest, another creator that has prior history with the special guest, made a lot of allegations involving him, his child, the mother of his child, and I felt horrific for him. I felt horrible. It was horrible allegations. Being somebody such as himself that has experienced those horrible allegations, why is he now participating in them against another parent? You're right, sis. You don't spray out his children until they have a meltdown on front lawn. Where did this happen, Karen? Did you see this take place? Did you see him be sprayed down by a power hose until he had a meltdown on the front lawn? Did you witness this? Is there a police report that depicts this? Have we gotten a police report to show this took place?
So please,
Me too, so far.
please put your hands together and give a huge Crime Lines and Lesbians welcome to our
Crime Lines and Lesbians welcome. Did she just say that? Did I hear that? I don't think so, Kimberly Wells. In my opinion, it was not a neighbor. Of course, you know, there's been no verification. Did I hear that correctly? Put a 1 in the chat. Did I just hear that correctly? Let me play that back again. What the fuck was that? Now I'm going to end up start cursing. Listen, I don't have ad revenue on anyway, so we're going to curse away. What was that? Did she just, if she follows up with the stupid clapping soundboard, we're going to fall over. All right, let's hear that.
together and give a huge Crime Lines and Lesbians welcome to our friend AB.
There's a missing 15-year-old child. There is a missing 15-year-old child. Right. And just so happens to elaborate on all the speculation that has taken place for 2 months, AT. Oh, it gets better. Now we get cartoon clapping. Oh, now we get clappy toy hands. Oh, now we get a clappy smiley face. All right. 30 seconds of clapping. 30 seconds of clapping. He said it was a member of his family. He needed help. The cousin. Is there a police report? Police reports matter. Context matters. Verification matters. A missing 15-year-old boy that is propped up behind her avatar matters.
Hey, B, welcome, welcome, welcome. I was so happy I got to talk to you yesterday, and it seems like he's waving at everybody.
What's going on?
Hey, and it seems like he's waving at everybody.
So cute. Did you ever hear the allegations that were put on him? People are calling her channel Crime Lines and Lesbians over the weekend. She was offended and decided to make it a joke. I did not hear anybody called. Can somebody direct me to which channel called her channel that? Full of lesbians. That's so asinine. Who said this? So now you know how to welcome. Right. Oh, that's ridiculous. Is there enough coffee for this? Can you just brew me an entire? It is stupid.
What's going on? That's funny shit.
Me too. Roboto.
That
They were
clapping is some
horrific.
funny stuff. Anyway, it gets me in a good mood. What's going on, Brooks?
It's hard enough to talk about these cases without having to throw something in there to.
So that's why she throws in all the showsman acts, right? The greatest show on earth, showsman acts. That's why she throws it on. Because it's hard enough to talk about these cases. Because it's hard enough to be professional when speaking about a missing 15-year-old child. If it's so hard that you have to add cartoony jokes to it, then don't do it. There ain't enough weed for this. Lord, is it going to get that bad? It's going to. Oh, nonsense says it's going to get bad. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Pray for my mouth today. Pray for my mouth today.
Yeah, you gotta break it up a little bit. No, you do a good job. It's good. It's funny.
It's funny.
So what's up?
Well, let's just start with a few things. A few people have had some questions. And of course, this is just.
That is fair enough, Turtle Madness. You're right. That is fair enough. I will say that's fair enough.
In our opinion. They said, why was.
Do people think by saying, in my opinion, it really protects you legally? Because it doesn't. It doesn't.
Wasn't Chrissy Poo arrested for child abuse?
Oh, because there's always two sides to every story. So, I mean, when you hear all of these stories in a situation like this, if you're in a situation out there in listening land, you're making, you probably should be taking a step back.
Well, right, because AB is speaking from experience, right? AB, you've had horrible allegations made against you, right? So I totally understand. You, of all people, should understand.
Type of thing. You're making too many jumps because there's two sides to every story. Things aren't always as they seem, and when they happen in real time, the best that people can do is report them, and that's what people have been doing.
Yes,
they've been reporting them to YouTubers.
When people hear them, all you're hearing.
People have been reporting them to YouTubers. Yes, it is, Jet. It is. And I recall horrible allegations being made about him from her in response to what he was saying about her. My point being, he should understand how harmful these allegations can be. Oh, never mind. I was going to try to join you all on camera for this one, but I can't get this to stay up. Okay, never mind. Next time we will be on camera for this because this deserves to be on camera for. Pecker.
Hearing at this point are really the highlights of the low points, all compressed into one because there's a missing child.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, why isn't he arrested? Well, this is a developing story, remember.
This is a developing story or a nonsensical story. If Chris Proudfoot abused Sebastian the way these non-vetted relatives and neighbors are coming out and stating, he would have been arrested. It's not a developing story. It's not. Oh, don't call her Chesty? Don't call her Chesty, but they can talk about this man's penis size? Right, arrested for what? Let Jim Terry absolutely try to exploit a trafficking victim. Right. Wow.
So maybe at some point, that's not for us to determine at this point in time. We're just sorting through the allegations.
Maybe it's because it's in an investigative stage.
Right.
I don't know.
No. Just no.
About your neighborhood where you live.
Maybe in some parts of the world. Police will come in. But people get their backs up nonetheless, and people get irate because they see the writing on the wall, and they are emotional, and that's why we're all here. They just, it's not them and us. It's, happens to all of us, but we just got to keep ourselves rational in that sense, as Tony Mathis would say. We got to be.
What are you talking about? What is he? I toned out. I'm sorry.
And they are emotional, and that's why we're all here. They just, it's not them and us. It's, happens to all of us, but we just got to keep ourselves rational in that sense, as Tony Mathis would say. We got to be rational.
So right now it sounds like AB's being, rational. Quite frankly, it sounds like he's on the right foot. This is going to change, apparently. Okay.
He did. He 100% did. This is one of the things he said to someone that posted anonymously in a Facebook group.
Unanimously, you mean?
Yeah. Anonymous. Tony replied, "I'm certainly available to answer intelligent questions if you'd like to walk out behind your anonymous protection. The whole world would be a different place if people would get to know someone before forming an opinion. People that will own what they say don't need to hide. I'd be on Justin's show tonight if you'd like to chat there."
So I can see where this is headed. Are they angry at Tony for taking away their moneymaker, their panel guest, their insider to being credible when it comes to the case because Seth Rogers supports them? Is this what's happening? Huh. Sounds like it.
It's like a new sheriff in the Old West coming into town, and he has to go and advertise what he's all about down at the local saloon.
100%.
That's how he plays it out. Hey, Tony Mathis, get fucked.
Do we really need to get to know the parents of the stepfather? Do we really need to get to know them?
Do we really need to get to know the parents of the stepfather? No. Did you really need to bring them into this at all? No.
We do know for a fact that Katie Proudfoot was home that night. Katie Proudfoot's the only one not talking.
Did I hear that wrong, Lacey?
Do we really need to get to know the parents of the stepfather? Do we really need to get to know them?
Oh.
Katie Proudfoot was home that night. Katie Proudfoot's the only one not talking. Katie Proudfoot has changed her story. Katie Proudfoot, if all of the neighbors are telling the truth.
How did Katie Proudfoot change her story? I don't know if people know this, but you initially tell your experience, and as time goes on, little details start to add up, like, oh yeah, that's right, there was the red car to the left, and that doesn't mean you're changing anything. How could she change her story? Right, on one hand, she's not speaking, on the other, she keeps changing her story.
I know we've heard from one, but there's several that don't want to go on the record. Who to thunk it, because they have to live there.
Thunk it.
Oh, I can't turn my
Oh, there's several neighbors, but they don't want to go on record. Oh, okay.
camera on today. I'll tell you why. Yesterday,
He's intentionally turning his camera on and off. Why, AB? Why? Just keep it on, bruh. I don't think anybody really is that concerned. I mean, hearts aren't dropping. You know what I mean? Just keep it on.
got all over Tony Mathis for being a Dallas Cowboys fanboy. I forgot to have like Blue Jays paraphernalia up. Excuse me.
Oh, yeah.
Tony Mathis for being a Dallas Cowboy.
So now we're picking on sports teams and we're intentionally hanging T-shirts. Okay, interesting.
Fanboy. I forgot to have like Blue Jays paraphernalia up. Excuse me.
Oh, I don't want to upset any of the Cowboys fans.
I'm uncomfortable already.
Well, different sports, but I don't want to be called a fanboy. I was just.
You got to see our bathroom. It's full of Kansas City Chiefs stuff. So
yeah, cool.
Oh, full of Kansas City Chiefs stuff? Maybe, just maybe. Does that mean there was a tie to the deaths of the 3 fans? I mean, that's how these people operate, all ludicrousy, ridiculousness. When law enforcement searched the area and interviewed all of them about their cameras, looking for visual sight of Sebastian. You are so right, Penny. You are so right. Also, there's several neighbors who want YouTubers to leave their neighborhood alone and respect their privacy, but that isn't happening anytime soon. Yeah, we don't get down with Dallas now. Why? But truly, I don't give a shit what sports team anybody supports, especially when it comes to the disappearance of a little boy.
Why would the mother not put an end to the bullying and everything that was going on?
The bullying. What bullying? I am so tired of adults speaking about bullying. It's so bizarre to me. Yes, bullying is a real thing, but not every time something happens that you don't like do we say it's bullying. Hey, Chica. People wonder why CP is paying attention to a lot of creators, panel, etc. I have a feeling he is collecting evidence for defamation and slander. Oh, I hope so.
Because she doesn't know how to handle Sebastian at this point. You know, and the older he gets, the more defiant he probably is.
Oh, are you projecting here? Memory functions like a wave. It flows as time progresses. Why? Because humans have this innate need to form a picture. Therefore, our minds insert data that may not be from that day. Yeah, Genevieve. She doesn't know how to handle Sebastian. So is there a reason he couldn't go to his father's, like request it?
So a lot of people have been speculating as to, you know, he's a bit spunky, let's say, and he doesn't understand rules. And there's always a constant battle in any family in that sense. Not battle to most people, but in
Let me pause for a minute. Thank you, Arctic. So any creators here could possibly cover the death of Noah Pressgrove out of Oklahoma. I'd appreciate it. Very suspicious death. Thank you. If you want to send me an email, I mean, I can certainly go and check it all out and cover it. Absolutely. Hey, now the Cowboys do suck. I'm an Eagles fan, right? Titanium, amen to that.
In this particular set, perhaps some, maybe he was getting some resistance. So therefore, it was just escalating the situation to the next level. And we all know Chris isn't going to be, letting a child living in his house get the best of him in any scenario.
Okay. So we just fantasize our own ideas of what takes place in people's homes. That's fantastic. Now, not for nothing, but let's also talk about the fact that no child should be getting the best of any parent in any household. It's called parenting. Do you see a wrench by my name? Do you see a wrench by Tammy's name? Girl, whatever. Whoever is giving you information, you're not getting. What? Is she once again spying in here, obsessively looking? Here, Brittany, I have something for you. I hate to interrupt a very serious thing for a very juvenile thing, but please don't mind while I do. This is just for you, Brittany. You got it. I'm so sick of people. Are you tired of accountability, your own words and behaviors being held against you? In today's internet world, there has been an influx of eyes on you, which is why we're offering a one-time hate bond down and zero factual background needed to become an official holder of the Granny's Victim Card. With the Unlimited Victim of Granny card, you receive 2% pity and zero. That's right, folks, zero accountability back. Make sure you apply for your official Victim of Granny card today. All you have to do is message an old friend and say, I too hate Granny. It's that easy. With this Victim of Granny card, you will likely be responded to by Granny herself, but just remember, 2% pity, zero accountability. The deals are great. Hop on it today. That card was made with you in mind, my friend. You can now officially carry it in your non-existent wallet and cry all day long. Just flip it out at any given chance and say, it wasn't me.
Now, your opinion only. Do you believe what this neighbor had to say? I had a lot of people picking on his accent. I guess they don't understand that people move out of state. They
Oh,
move where they're
he's
originally
old
from.
school. He's an old school fighter pilot from New York. I thought that was cool. I trusted him 100% because he spent a lot of time discerning, and he's very careful in choosing his words that he used, and he every step of the way was.
Shouldn't he be careful with the words that he used? Isn't that the intelligent thing to do? What's the difference? He didn't need to hire a PR guy to do so because he drives spaceships and knew it.
Careful in his terminology, unlike people like Chris, for example.
He wasn't saying that he was guilty.
I actually thought he was talking about Chris because it's Chris that has been careful.
He said, I believe it.
Exactly. He stayed away from that. He's not accusing. He is just relaying what he's seen and his experiences. And I thought it was a fantastic account. And you could understand and see his training in the military as to recount a scenario coming from a time where they didn't have cameras and you had to visually go and get a visual on something in the field, bring it back and talk about it in front of a group of your peers. Just like Tom Cruise on the what was that? The USS.
Wait, I missed something. Am I the only person that's thoroughly confused right now? Oh, this is for the fake neighbor. I'm wondering. I'm like, what the hell is even being stated right now? This is so bizarre. Thank goodness. Hello. Or hello, Wee Frosty. You are muted. That's okay. We will wait for you to get your mic together. And
I had to mute my YouTube. Hello, everybody. Hello.
Hello. What the hell is going on here?
I don't have answers to that currently, but I thought you could at least have company so that we can go through it together. Because the chat was not lying to you when they say that this gets wild.
Really? Oh, should I keep where I'm at, or should I jump forward, or what?
Stay where you are for now. I think AB's very interesting assessment of these current people have it tells you a lot. He doesn't realize he's telling you a lot, but it's certainly not with his words. Literally just pay attention and you'll pick up a lot. Right, Lippy?
I often say that. I often say, listen to what people are not saying, because that's where they say the most. And it sounds like that's where we're headed. So let's see.
Oh, yes.
George Washington.
Yeah.
Top Gun. Yeah. Anyway, excuse me. I forgot what carrier that was. But yeah, man, that guy's cool. Anyway.
Well, I just think it's very disrespectful that when somebody wants to tell their truth, they're, run through the mud. I did see one channel again, which will remain.
You expect that, and he understands.
So when people want to tell their truth, they are run through the mud like they've done to the Proudfoots. I'm tired of it, I am so tired when these people want to put somebody down as awareness, but when others want to point out what they're doing as bullying.
Well, it's partly the reason that I came up, because there was a recent situation, and just bear with me for a minute and it'll make sense, where a group of creators had collectively sort of grouped together to lambast another creator by the name of Eve, because of in their opinion, vile and vitriolic things that she was doing to the parents of Michael Vaughan. Now, I say this because if you go and look at Eve's entire content, I'm not asking you to take my opinion of what she has done. I'm asking you to go check for yourself.
Right.
Compare it to the things that have already fallen out of Brooks's mouth and AB's, and let me know where you stand at the end of that. There are very startling differences in how they even refer to the parents of a missing child, yet they want to claim that Eve was this cruel wrongdoer doing all the things. while AB is out here literally with zero training and zero qualifications, psychologically profiling Chris Proudfoot. Make it make sense. He's now investigating a dent on their garage door.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? Compare your own behavior, sir. Compare your own behavior and then come back and tell me how evil Eve was. Because I think, unfortunately, a lot of people have a very bad opinion of Eve because what they have heard from other people. I have been through that experience myself and had to go and find the information myself. And when I
Sounds
did,
like
I was
Eve needs,
pleasantly surprised.
sounds like Eve needs her own blame it on Eve victim card.
Right. Well, it literally is. It does kind of feel like that. But this recent thing is just reinforcement to all of this, because even this one stream from Brooks and AB, I was like, oh, you have quite the cheek on you there. It's a lot. It's a lot. But thank you for hanging with my TED talk. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're so welcome. The MV video came in and asked if anybody heard about the foot that was found in Mississippi by the children that were fishing. That is absolutely horrific. My prayers to whoever it is. And I hope that people don't speculate on who it is. I hope we get answers first. That's another horrible thing that's going to rotate. All right, so it sounds like AB is getting started here. Let's hear it out.
Understands that too, because people are very tribal in that sense. But you have to expect it, and good on you for just mentioning it. I guess to set people's minds at ease before you get into the information. I mean, all you can do is bring it up, right? You can lead a horse to water in that sense.
Well, I mean, I as much as I try to warn people that I speak to about how YouTube works, or just the internet in general, or just people in general.
How about you warn people to how you work? What the hell? Start there first, maybe, but still doesn't negate the fact that Eve attacked the parents for over a year, in my opinion. In fairness, it wasn't just Eve. It was also Sleuthy Goosey, who was far worse than Eve.
Right. And I'm not here to derail the whole show. I'm just asking for fair comparison. That is all.
And that's fair.
That is all. I don't want to take anybody's opinion away, but I have found that certain particular people, as you're experiencing yourself, Granny, want to repeat certain things.
Right.
And that's all that people hear then. They're not coming to see your content, coming to see what you've actually said. They're just hearing this secondhand version of it, or hearing a clip and going, oh yeah, she must be really bad.
Yeah.
Without actually taking in the full context of the situation. And it's not pro Eve, it's not pro anybody. Like who you like, dislike who you don't like, do all the things. Just the information is there. Go find it.
Well, and it's just the fact of the hypocrisy is what it sounds like you're ultimately pointing out. You know, if they're going to point fingers at the way somebody else handled a case and or the parents of a case, well, look at what you're doing. Who are you to judge? Oh, I go through that all the time, Lee Frosty. I'm telling you, you will literally have people on a panel doxing me, myself, or others, and then scream that I'm a doxer. And it's like, whoa, wait a minute. You know, there's one thing. It's just, it's irony. I get it.
Right. You're like, what? Who? What?
Right.
Because you're so flabbergasted then of how did we even get here?
Right.
You can't even respond at that point because you're like, this is literally the seventh circle of hell. This is where we are now. I hate that.
This is where we are. All right, let's hear it. I'm scared, but let's hear it.
He was very measured in what he was saying. But, to answer many, many comments, yes, CPS was involved. Yes, we have spoken with law enforcement.
Not to interrupt you, Brooks, but he verified essentially on a secondary note, not out of the words of his mouth, but really the information that he presented verified what a lot of people were suggesting in chats, let's say. in that Chris was absolutely lying in front of the camera this whole time and trying to dance away from any sort of open CPS case. Dude should have.
There is no open CPS case. You can't speak it into existence. You can't just make it something it isn't. And there's been CPS calls on both sets of parents. Again, what does that matter? And it's really tasteless that she just has Sebastian's face behind her avatar. I mean, at least have the respect and decency to put that child's face where it's fully shown. Yeah. Thank you, KCJ. Hey, Mr. Nobody. Ugh.
But been all over it since the get-go. That tells me that we're on the right track, because if this was genuinely, and if they were genuinely had a reason for keeping Sebastian and dealing with Sebastian in a certain way, then out with it right away. That way people understand where you're coming from. And you can utilize, say, autism advocates out there already willing to help you.
Oh,
I know, Wee Frosty, and I'm going to try not to keep it personal, right? I'm going to try to keep it very non-personal.
I'm going to try.
But the fact of the matter is, Katie was overly involved in his autism recent diagnosis. She was with a therapist. She was at doctor's appointments. She was very well versed. It was new to all of them. He was diagnosed a year ago.
Because it is secondary to another medical condition, a very rare medical condition called 6q27 chromosomal deletion syndrome. Mm-hmm. It is very rare. The raft of related issues it can cause is immense. It is extremely reckless for people to be grouping even people with autism together as experiencing one thing. Never mind this extremely rare condition that is the precursor to his autism. That is why there has been such a late diagnosis for autism. And anybody who has a child or has cared for a child with complex needs knows that usually there is a reason for them getting secondary diagnoses so that they can be tracked into other programs. Mm-hmm. That's how that works. It works that way with school, works that way with healthcare. And again, this isn't for somebody in AB's particular position. He should understand that better than most. So the irony here is astounding that he doesn't engage with what is actually happening. He is deliberately out here feeding misinformation.
Right, because misinformation is selling. That's why. Because this man's channel went from 50 tops viewers.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
You can tell by what Katie has mentioned in her terminology that she's very involved with Sebastian's ongoing therapies, programs, school, and etc. If you have special needs or work in the field, you pick up that from Katie right away. That's what I was saying, Genevieve. Yep, exactly. Oh boy, I'm nervous.
In situations just like this. No, they've been skirting this truth the entire time, refusing and denying, playing games around every point. We're on the right track. Hey, Chris, what's with that dent in your garage door? That's around head height, about 4'7" off the ground.
So who's 4 foot? So he got
right.
So much to say. All right.
Yeah, what is that exactly?
Mm-hmm. What is that?
I want to know what that is, Chris.
Sebastian's 5'5". Basically everything that the neighbor, and he's not directly the next door neighbor, he lives in the neighborhood. I'm not putting his address out or anything. I did have a few questions. Did you properly vet him?
Oh, okay. So now it's not the next door neighbor, but a neighbor that lives in a neighborhood that just so happened to see this horrible level of abuse where an autistic child was sprayed rapidly with a power washer. Oh, okay.
All right, where yet again everybody else who witnessed said power washing incident did nothing.
Right. It's amazing.
Did nothing. It should be the resounding thing we take away from these cases that we constantly seem to miss, that if you see something like that, do something. pick up the phone, call somebody who can do something about it. It doesn't mean you run in there all guns blazing and wreck the place. No. All you do is call for help for that person.
Right.
That's an important move, and people don't do it. It's not about being a busybody, but it's so that we can prevent these things from ever happening.
Right. And you know what? When it comes to this dent in the garage door, whoever went and actually measured it, because you cannot get correct measurements off a photo, especially
Right.
if you're not a professional.
And then I don't know about y'all, but if you investigate the outside of anyone's home, there's bound to be a dent here, a scuff mark there, all of the things, no matter how particular you are. It's a bit wild to be saying something like that. I mean,
Now, don't be logical here, Lee.
it's a bit wild.
I'm not sure if that's really you, Trevor, but if it is, I'm really happy to see you, and I hope you're doing well. Hey, Truth and Justice. Right. I mean, they're just dense. Yeah. Holy hell.
Yes, I got on an airplane from Tulsa International to Nashville International. He picked me up. I went there for the weekend and I helped him do his taxes.
And he's given us the proper toll of 450 American dollars in order to give us his consent.
There you go.
I
Case
went there
closed.
for the weekend and I helped him do his taxes.
And
Case closed. We can all go home now. Because we've had the correct toll amount of 450 American dollars. Don't forget it, everyone. That's science right there. That's
But wait,
your...
I'm more concerned about a random YouTuber doing a random person's taxes. Did I hear that correctly?
Right. So
I-
many questions.
How come nobody's ever asked me to do their taxes? That just so happens to live in a neighborhood where a missing child is located. What the fuck?
I know.
I mean, seriously. What is this?
Insanity.
Did I hear that correctly? What the hell?
National. He picked me up. I went there for the weekend and I helped him do his taxes.
And
She went to a random stranger's home for the weekend to do his taxes that just so happens to live in the neighborhood where a child disappeared from, and we're to believe this. And she didn't do any in real world sleuthing. She didn't go past the home. She didn't do any searching. She did nothing. She did no actual am I correct on that? Did she ever show any boots on the ground footage of her in the neighborhood searching for Sebastian, driving past the home? But she was there for a weekend?
Right, but it's a total coinky dink.
Oh, I'm missing this. I'm missing the sarcasm. Okay. All right. That makes more sense, Kimberly. If she's being sarcastic. All
Look,
right.
if that's the case, her delivery needs a whole lot of effort.
Yes, because
because
that's not how sarcasm works. If most of them can't pick up on it, then you're failing. Oh, Lord. Okay. Woo.
he's given us the proper toll of 450 American dollars in order to give us his consent, in order to give us this statement. Now,
in order to have a crisis actor on the channel.
yes.
Oh yeah, I watched him and his wife.
We had to spend 6 hours choosing.
Oh, she is being sarcastic because she's also a pig, because she just said, I watched him and his wife have sex. That's cute. That is so professional. This is so cute. There is nothing to be mocking or sarcastic about when we are talking about adding allegations unfounded into a missing child's case.
Right. And it's why I brought the Eve situation up, because these particular creators have been doing the most when it comes to Eve, and yet here they are stating some of the most outrageous things that they then want their own audiences to take in the mixture of what are supposed facts and therefore come up with the truth. What are we even doing?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it gets worse than this. It gets worse.
Does. Yeah.
Using this guy from a catalog. You better enjoy it.
What a
Right
shit.
on.
Here I am. I'm like, what a stupid thing to even ask. You know if someone knows what they're talking about and if they don't.
Apparently
and everything that he said has, in my opinion, already been verified by Seth, Chris, and Katie.
been verified by previous allegations? I mean, yes, Chris verified that there was furniture in his garage, bedding. There was bed furniture in his garage. So now we make up a whole rumor based off that. I mean, that's how this went down. It's obvious to anybody with a brain cell, but these are your true crime sleuths. Don't forget that. These are your sleuthies. These are the ones that are going to solve the cases.
Congratulations, everyone.
Oh my goodness. So concerning.
Well, what they're doing is it's kind of a double entendre here, because all of the information that the neighbors of Chris are bringing are
convoluted,
contradicting the statements from Chris, okay, that he's presented.
Duh. So do you realize they just contradicted themselves? Brooks just said, Brooks just said, this has all been verified by the words of Seth, Chris, and Katie. And now AB is saying it contradicts the words of Chris. So which one is it?
Yes, they don't know themselves. How anyone else is meant to know. I mean, answers on a postcard, please. We would love to hear it, because what?
Right. That's all you come. What?
It's almost like they're not listening
already through the
Right. Exactly. That's like one time, I kid you not, somebody said in a chat, Granny will hate bomb with anybody or something like that. And the comment right underneath was, that's why we got here, because Granny is too selfish to put differences aside or something like that. So like they literally contradicted themselves within the same chat box. And it was like, okay, this is how you people work.
Yay!
Right, Genevieve. She always ends up friends with these people. Thank you, Teresa. Yeah, please hit the thumbs up. I feel like this was intentional to bring him up to make more wild claims to try and take the focus off the fake neighbor interview. Very possible.
Mainstream media and on social
Very
media.
possible.
And people are naturally going to have questions about that. And right, you want to get, or Chris wants to get himself positioned in a place where he thinks that he's safe.
Where he thinks that he's
that's going to
safe.
be a bit of a problem.
A problem for who? You?
A huge problem, because he's the one that brought the mattress up.
Can you rewind that
some
a second,
reason.
Granny?
Absolutely.
Maybe about 30 seconds. Did he say Chris Watts?
No. He said Chris once.
Oh, sorry. See, that's why I was just like, what?
Yeah, Chris once.
A huge problem, because he's the one that brought the mattress up.
So riddle me this, right? Because what I heard was, I don't know if the mattress was mentioned previously, but I know Nancy Grace asked about a bed, asked about furniture. I don't recall it, but I don't know, maybe it was. But why, if the mattress was like, if you're on one hand, you're saying Chris is very calculated and what he lets out there, why would he put out anything about the mattress? I mean, whatever. And obviously that was debunked, because people are now saying, what if Sebastian was stuffed in the mattress? Well, they went and searched the landfill. So obviously he wasn't.
About that. And right, you want to get, or Chris wants to get himself positioned in a place where he thinks.
A huge problem, because he's the one that brought the mattress up. For some reason, he felt a need to mention it. And then he said it was given to them, I think, by a coworker or a neighbor, and he just put it in the garage. Now, why would he say that?
No. He said it was given to him by his sister. And why would he say that if it was involved in the crime? What the hell's wrong with these people? I have an old bed set. Do you know the stories they can conduct off of that? If my child went missing because there's a bed set not being used, I mean, come on.
Right. I mean, congratulations if you are lucky enough to have every stick of furniture in your house being brand new and only ever having been touched by you. That's wonderful. I love that for you. But maybe if you could help a girl out, hit me up.
Right.
That would be great.
Oh my goodness.
When it was known to neighbors that mattress had been in the garage.
It's trying to get past a question in the moment. Also known as a lie. Or there's a bit of a problem, a bit of a spike on the old psychological polygraph. I'm closing my eyes and imagining.
On the what now,
Yeah,
AB?
also known as a bullshit lie.
Right. On the what?
Right, because polygraphs aren't unreliable enough. Now we need to have a psychological polygraph that AB is running in his own mind and just take that as evidence. Okie dokie.
Right. Just take that how you will. That's the evidence. Yep. Hmm. Right. This is how the internet gets turned upside down. Absolutely agree. Absolutely. And again, this is all just to change the fact that they brought up some fake person posing as a neighbor, which leads me to I did get an email from somebody important that knows well more than any of us. And none of the neighbors want to speak out. One, because they don't have anything to give. And two, they're afraid of the madness. Because YouTubers that are going around the neighborhood are hunting down people. They are looking for people to speak and they don't want to be involved in what is this ever so lovely YouTube little world we're in, where private investigators get fake news put out on them. Multiple neighbors don't recognize the person that was speaking out. And what's even more alarming, they say there were no barbecues or anything like that. It's all being fabricated. Wow. And again, this person would know way more than us. Mm-mm. Thank you. Thank you for sending that.
I have to send in my rookie investigative detectives to play good cop, bad cop with you at that point in time.
And again, with the pressure washer, listen, I did not ask if it's a gas powered one you keep on your back.
Oh, yeah.
Plugs into the water hose. I mean, come on now.
Well, you can.
I mean, come on now. Come on now. You want me as a creator interviewing an alleged neighbor to actually ask questions that are important? The way she phrased that was like,
Right.
you know,
You
like,
expect me
relax.
me to do something? What?
Right.
On my show? What?
How dare you expect that from her? Right. The bed was gifted after. It was gifted by the sister. You guys got to remember, life carries on. It's unfortunate. Yeah, it could be weird to people. Why is anybody thinking of giving you furniture when you have a missing child? Sure, I can understand that. But at the same time, there could be dozens of logical answers. And none of them have to be that it was involved in Sebastian's disappearance. None of them. I've heard people say it's because Chris was tired of the smell of pee in the house and all this ludicrousy. Anything to make this man sound horrible.
Now, listen, I just bought one actually. They range everything from $179 right up to about $3,500 for the diesel that you can take around the back of your truck. No, it's for cleaning his big RV. I mean, it doesn't matter. The point they're not talking about taking the skin off the child. It's not the worst case scenario. It's
no, AB, because people are talking about that. That's the problem. That is the problem with not clarifying things, is people are running with that. Ugh. No, not Brooks. It wasn't Brooks. It was the other one.
To tie in with what Lippy's saying there, the mattress arrived before Sebastian went missing.
It was before.
Yeah, it has been stated there is footage showing it, and whenever the first cameras have turned up at their home, etc., etc. So it wasn't brought in afterwards. So again, whether it is something or not, that has been a known fact from the start.
Right, and again, if there was anything to it, the police would know. Come on.
Right.
KCG, thank you for becoming a member and welcome. They would know. It's just YouTubers aren't going to solve it. The police
still
would.
A form of torture. It's a form of shock.
Oh,
it's
torture, like locking.
You can get down, even a pressurized hose. You can put your thumb over the end of a hose. You get it in someone's face. It can fucking hurt. You know?
Speaking from experience?
Well, I think the whole thing is when he was having this meltdown that could be easily heard by the neighbors. Why?
Right. This was all witnessed by a large group of people. If you sit there and go on.
Now it was a large group of people, not one. And yet again, no police reports.
Right.
Oh.
He's making it sound like they were selling tickets and there was a hot dog stand and they were just having a great time. And if that's the case, so many questions there, but okay. It
Right.
would make your supposed neighbor even more questionable at that point.
They don't care to report alleged abuse going on right before their eyes. That's amazing.
Right.
Stalker 76 says Seth was at the Proudfoots the first 3 days. He could confirm or deny, even through his PR person, to settle people down. I mean, he was there that very morning. He would know if it was true. That's absolutely true too. Yep.
Google Earth and sit in their front yard. Imagine him out there doing that in that little cul-de-sac. Everybody, like, you can hear and see that. That's a big circle that faces one another. That's right out in the open. Everybody saw it.
Everybody saw it. Nobody reported it. And the neighbor doesn't even live on their street. Got it.
Saw it. There's no way that's not seen. These people are sorry to get excited on you. These people, it blew my mind the way that he was telling it. Yeah. So, I mean, as far as the information, Russ, there's a story. Listen, Chris probably has an explanation for it as well. But the problem here in my mind is, why weren't these talked about way back when? Why are you running away from this? We're overtaking you like a pack of wolves.
That's the fucking problem. What an idiot. What an
He
idiot.
said it himself.
Right. You said it. Right there says it all. We're overtaking you like a pack of wolves. Right. Why weren't these allegations that just came out a few days ago addressed in the beginning, AB? You can't be that stupid, quite frankly, because he's not stupid. Well, what do you mean? Why didn't they address this in the beginning? The allegations were just made. Why didn't the neighbors come out in the beginning if this was true? Pack of wolves. You are.
Isn't that what you would want, searching for your missing child? A pack of wolves?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yup. Fangs out and everything. Yeah. Hunt. They are, though. They're hunting them down. They're hunting down the Proudfoots, not Sebastian.
Right.
How sad.
This information, Chris. Okay, and we'll tear you apart with it. You should have outed this a long time ago. You've been avoiding talking about this entire time, to the point that you've been lying to everybody on mainstream media.
That's like if I turned around and said everything that TM said about AB and the alleged abuse. AB should have gotten ahead of that. AB should have told us all of that abuse before Tiffany Marie did. You see how that works?
Yep.
How asinine is that comment?
Very. And AB knows for a fact that there are many people who have recordings of unfortunate hot mic moments. I call them unfortunate for the fact that they would ever happen in the first place, not the fact that they were recorded. Where, if God forbid AB ever ended up in the same situation, and I hope that is never the case, that would look awful for him. We wouldn't be looking for a bump on a garage door.
Right. Amen to that. A lot of these creators have very concerning background noise that they don't want analyzed or torn apart, but they have no problem making up these type of conspiracies involving the disappearance of a 15-year-old child.
Now, I did have a lot of comments, and of course, I just want your opinion on this. We're just having conversation.
Just conversation.
Back and forth. You know, like eggs in China.
We're chewing the fat.
We're chewing the fat. This is not a HIPAA violation. I don't want anyone upset.
If you have to say this is not a HIPAA violation, you don't want anyone upset, then you're likely to upset people, and it's more than likely going to be perceived as a HIPAA violation. I can't stand people.
So the only thing that Chrissy Poo was upset about was me questioning his shoe size and, you know, talking about his physical appearance. Well, turnabout is fair play.
No, you're right. Appearance, because you meant to say penis, because that's what you spoke about. The man's shoe size and his penis.
Yep, I got that too. You could tell where she was already thinking.
Yep,
and had to correct herself.
That's sure did. Check that out. We should be sleuthers.
Right, we're good at this.
His physical appearance. Well, turnabout is fair play. Look at all the things you have said about Sebastian. You've talked about everything from the way he drinks his chocolate milk to how his puberty is coming along.
What the fuck? When did he speak about his puberty coming along? And when did he even speak about any of this in a negative tone? They're trying to twist it. Don't act like you were talking about this missing child's stepfather's penis size because he spoke about the way Sebastian drank his milk. Don't bring him into, oh my goodness. There are always going to be creators that do that, aren't they? They're always going to find a way to justify their gross shit.
Well, we have again, it's where Brooks comes into this thing in a very weird situation because when she was having her little conversations, I turned that very nicely compared to what I want to say, with Stacey Wandra, one of the 4 named suspects within Michael Vaughan's disappearance. There was a whole lot of very friendly and overtly affectionate discussion happening there, even to the point that Stacey Wandra stated that she had told him that she was in love with him,
Right.
not loved him, in love with him,
In love.
and then that he then that he had to refuse to be her marriage guidance counselor. And that then Brooks admitted that she had had this named suspect talking to her husband. At that point, you're just like, what is even going on? What are you doing?
Manipulating a suspect.
Right? And that was only in one case. And I thought, well, maybe I've got the girl wrong here. Maybe this is unusual. But considering the way you now see the similar misrepresentation, I'm not familiar with her vast body of work prior to this, but this doesn't look good. It doesn't. When everything has to be reduced to base sexual level, I don't know
Yeah,
what to tell you.
that's not cool.
No.
It's pretty telling.
I mean, meant to ask you something about that. I just saw something. I got to ask you something. So this
Well,
no ass thing, this
No.
no ass.
Mhm.
I was editing a video today. Was it from? Did you get that from? You know the photos that were coming in from him going to the vigil and talking to Seth with his hat on backwards and his jeans pulled up, and it looks like he's got a camel toe. It's like his back and then just this camel toe and legs. Is that where this?
I
Is that
didn't
where
look.
that developed from?
I didn't look that close. I saw Seth with his hands in his pockets there in the corner of the truck. Let me find the picture. And I was going through it and I said, it looks like he's like put in the corner. And I said, and I just realized Chris has no ass. Well, that upset him too.
Look at that.
Dude, you're a
face.
dude. You shouldn't have an ass. Like, I mean, who cares? That's perfect. I mean, call me no ass all day long. I feel just as confident as a man. No problem.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine by me.
Well, why does it bother Chris? I don't think it actually does. Nothing bothers him that much. He's just using it because it's like a tit for tat. You insulted him and he's questioning you on it. It's normal, but he's focused on it. Whereas
that's what AB's doing here.
Right. No, I don't think Chris is focused on the fact that you said no ass, more so the fact that you're talking about this man's penis.
Right. And AB is decided within his own astute logic that he's now going to rise to the challenge. And instead of trying to settle the situation or, behave in any sort of credible manner whatsoever, he's now going to antagonize. And that's what AB does. Anybody who knows AB knows that he does that within the community, within YouTube as a whole, and with people in cases as well. He has a long history of doing so, and he's proud of it. And that's what he's doing here. But he couldn't be upfront about it. He's just saying all these things, and the people in Brooks's chat are drinking it up like it's chocolate milk.
This is so fucking weird.
There's probably other things you should be focused on rather than just name calling.
Yeah.
I would
But
be
it's fun.
10 times more
But it's fun, he said.
concerned
But it's fun.
about the allegations about how I treated a child as opposed to someone talking about my shoe size or my ass size.
So
Never mind.
when it comes to corporal punishment, there's no, in a lot of places, what we socially is unacceptable. There isn't really cut laws stating you can't raise your children in a strict environment. Any situation, no matter what it really is, you can downplay it to workers from the reports that come in. It's probably what's been going on. The problem comes in is when they sit down and they open up the books and the docs and they take a look and they see all of these reports. Then that's when it becomes a problem. I mean,
is this a man speaking from experience or what? Because I am so confused, right? Corporal punishment. They see all these reports and.
I mean, he seems to be very
There's
focused
another
on trying
problem.
to psychoanalyze Chris Proudfoot in particular, and yet doesn't realize the amount of literal projection that is going on here.
That's usually how it is, isn't it?
Right, and it doesn't take. And look, I am no fan of AB. I think you can tell that. But even if you were on sort of good terms with the guy, you would think, well, why would you, of all people, not understand that there's a comparison here? Why are you taking this deliberate to build your channel? All right, love that for you.
Right, that's it. That's exactly
in
it.
that you can see, even though he was probably very difficult to handle, they didn't know what to do with them. Now it's got me thinking about, do you think that they might have put him in an institution in that sense? And they're really turning around and playing everybody in that sense.
You don't think the police would know that in that sense and make this make sense? Is his microwave door open back here? Or is there no door on it? I'm very confused by that. It's just bothering me. I like to look at people's backgrounds. I'm a nosy bitch. I'm looking at everything.
Right? Well, you can't see all of the things, and that's
All
his
the
choice.
things.
Yeah.
Because they've got it figured out. And let's see, in Tennessee, in that area, there seems to be a formula, a recipe for doing certain things, and you'll be able to get away with it, no problem, because the investigation is conducted in a certain way. And if there's no evidence to do anything, everything grinds to a halt. Okay. But in the meantime, you've whipped up an excessive amount of social credit for this hoax, and you've presented it to people.
Social credit.
Right.
Right.
Now you have
who's
Chris
cashing in there, AB?
Right.
Chris in front of the camera, taunting everybody, leading them on, dancing them like the Pied Piper, and really that whole process, the same one where.
When the fuck is Chris even in front of the camera? When? Like, where are you okay? Are we talking about the same, like, Chris? Like, we're talking about Chris Proudfoot? This is so weird. They would see transactions, bank accounts. There would be cited as Sebastian. Right. There's too much. Do they not realize the FBI, the police are investigating this on a much more closer and in-depth way than any YouTuber ever could?
Right. And people fail to understand that despite HIPAA being a thing, that you have a duty of care and a duty of legal responsibility. That would mean that any professional would have very strict reporting regulations if they suspected a child was being hidden in such a way.
Right.
It would be, there is no amount of money that you could have, not even like P. Diddy money, and I use that term very deliberately, to be able to pay off that amount of people that it would take.
Right.
So it's kind of spectacular, really.
I mean, listen, we're in a world of Big Brother. Big Brother is everywhere. There are cameras everywhere. There's no way they would have been able to hide Sebastian and not have been caught by now. Whole polygraph thing. If CP doesn't take polygraph, he must be guilty. But if he passes, because he figured out how to take it, right? How to beat it, right? They can't win. They damned if they do, damned if they don't. That is the point many of us have come to, where we no longer don't. There's no point to, and that's where the Proudfoots are. There's no point for them to combat these ridiculous allegations, because every time they do, and they match the energy in which they are met, they are suddenly the aggressor. I've been through this a dozen times myself. These people can poke. And if they poke you at the right spot and you respond at the right spot they wanted you to respond at, well, now they're the victims and you're the aggressor. You just can't win. So get your own Granny's watching victim card and use the hell out of it today. I mean, you just can't win.
With very reasonable interest rates. Very reasonable.
Very reasonable. 2%. Integrity. That's it.
AdSense money off of. They're soaking everybody up for these donos to keep it going because
for the
of
donos,
the illusion that they've created.
When has the Proudfoots ever even so much as posted a link to donate to them? Anybody? The neighbor's camera that she already debunked, traders? She debunked that camera footage a while ago. Now all of a sudden it's crucial. Now all of a sudden it's real, and we're supposed to believe it's real. Shadows.
Now let's talk about the hypocrisy.
Oh,
He went on website.
Oh, please do.
To have a shit fit about Seth talking too much on YouTube. Well, who's the belle of the ball now?
Well, you can understand.
Well, Seth.
Listen, if you say too much, it's going to lower people's. They're not going to want to donate any money to the cause. Okay, if you start mentioning people's history, we want to protect all of this information because people are going to be turned off about it, and they're just going to say, do with them what you will, type of thing. And the bottom line is they're not going to get any donos out of them. They need to.
That's your bottom line. This is the biggest fucking word salad of projection I've ever witnessed. I love when people say this type of shit because they're really speaking from their own perspective. To him, the donos matter so much that he is putting that at the forefront of this missing child's case. Where those of us who aren't so concerned about the donos, but they are very much appreciated if you like to tip, don't sit there and say that is the forefront because we don't give a shit about the money. And I highly doubt the Proudfoots do either, which is why A, they never had a GoFundMe. B, you can't find their Cash App links anywhere. C, they are not profited off the sales of t-shirts, unlike Seth Rogers. God, it's annoying.
Right. There's one parent in this situation who has received money that has been donated. And that's up to people and their own choices to make what they do. But it's ironic that, or ridiculous, really, not even ironic. It's ridiculous that AB is now conflating that to an entirely different person, now Chris Proudfoot, when it hasn't been him. He's part of the issue that people have with Chris Proudfoot is that he went back to work.
Well, can we also point out the fact that on one hand, they want everybody to believe that the Proudfoots are so wealthy that they can afford private jets and all these different properties across the world, and they can pay off the FBI, the TBI, everything. But on the other hand, they need all this for money. Their child's disappearance equates to money.
Right. And again, there are, if you want to be suspicious, there are definitely questions to be asked about hiring a PR person with an unfortunate financial history. You could say that. There's definitely that train of thought to go down, but even that still doesn't lead AB to the supposition that he's stating here that it's somehow Chris Proudfoot's fault. It's kind of weird.
It's very weird.
Control each and every piece of information as best they can in order to soak everybody for all their time and social credit on fucking media for their little bullshit session here.
Then why are you?
Fuck them.
Then why are you still falling for it? Then look, he's so serious right now. This is scary. I mean, weird, not
Social
scary, but
credit
look at
on
it.
fucking media for their little bullshit session here. Fuck
We're
them.
half an hour into
And
their bullshit session.
Right. That's what I mean. If that's what this is, then why are you falling into it? It's just because it's lining your pockets. It's giving you donos. Let's be honest. I mean, come on.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
And a couple of weeks ago, another quote unquote creator, because I hate that word. I hate creator, follower, sub. But that's just me. That's just my pet peeve. Anyhow,
because
I just don't like the word.
They're subs.
Huh?
Creator.
Creator. What did you create today, AB?
Rumors and a missing
Actually, few
child's
things.
disappearance.
Well, you're 10.
I got whole fucking gardens going on back here, man. All
Well,
kinds of shit.
This
Well,
is
you're
the perfect time for him to advertise his self-grown marijuana business, which is all he did during the Summer Wells case, is promote. So yeah, money.
10 times better than me. I got a freaking crazy garden going, and I don't exactly have it.
Well, then
organized.
technically, you're creating things. We're helping things photosynthesize.
Yeah, I love it.
Right?
I love it. I
Oh,
told
dear
my
God.
husband over the weekend,
Oh,
I said,
yes,
you
yes.
know, I didn't exactly plan this out right. I said, so shit's just going to start growing and then we're going to know what it is. But a creator a couple weeks ago said that we are just intimidated by an alpha male like Chrissy Poo.
Oh, fucking dude, he's intimidating. He is alpha, dude. Alpha in that household. It doesn't take much to be alpha in that household. You've got.
Let me break this down for those who don't understand or maybe comprehend or even get what she's saying. Let me do it by definition. So Chris is certainly an alpha male. And the reason I say Chris is an alpha male, first off, he's military. Secondly, he's the man of his house. He takes it very serious. And thirdly, that is what you want in men. Most women, we want alpha men. Not every woman can handle an alpha man. Some people prefer betas that sit on the internet spewing bullshit and growing marijuana. But most people want an alpha male. They want a man who's up and going to work and making the money, and hands are dirty. They're not soft little, seed growing, softy little poo hands. Oh, we got a guest. Hey, Paige.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. Just tired of watching this happen all the time.
Yep.
Because it's not about Sebastian anymore.
Nope. Hasn't been for a long time.
No,
sadly.
and it's bothering me quite a bit.
Yeah. Yep. And while we're on it, alpha men tend to assume or dominate or a domineering role in social or professional situations. Hence why he's out here speaking on behalf of his wife. That is usually the traditional way of things. But, of course, people want to make that into a negative. So whatever.
Right.
But
Talking of which, there's a wonderful book that AB should read, and it's called Sex at Dawn. That sounds exciting, doesn't it, AB? Unfortunately for you, it's not a pictorial description of things that you're missing out on there, but it sort of describes how we came to be, how we are, and maybe if AB did a little bit more reading, a little bit less talking, he would understand what he's actually saying, because his description of alpha male behaviors are not it. It's
No.
by Dr. Chris Ryan. You can look it up, AB. It's a wonderful book. It's very renowned bestseller, in fact. I recommend it.
It's a good book.
Yep.
It's a wonderful book.
oh my God, you brat. Sorry. My son just came up with a Michael Myers mask and scared the hell out of me.
Just to
Oh
keep
my
you on your
God.
toes.
That really did just get me. Speaking of, so somebody mentioned the soap seller. I don't know if you guys realize, but there is now a fragrance based off Sebastian Rogers. Buy your soap today in the scent of a missing child.
That's
Another one? He just did one called Where's the Baby? Is he doing
Yeah,
another?
that's the soap. That's the soap that's based off Sebastian. Where's the baby?
Oh,
Mhm.
dear God.
Oh, he
In
got me.
fairness, I say fairness because ridiculously pedantic at times, all the time. He did say he was going to, in retrospect, I would imagine, considering some feedback, give 10% of the. He wasn't careful on how he stated it, but he just said money. So whatever that means, whether it's total received or whether it's
Yeah.
what he is earning, but 10% he is going to give to Nick Mac, and he couldn't even rhyme off Nick Mac's name, so it didn't even come to him naturally. It's almost like he's been forced to do it at this point.
It
An
just
afterthought.
sickens me. It just sickens me.
Well, hopefully we'll see the proof of the revenue going,
Right?
I guess we'll wait and not hold our breath on that.
I mean, 10% of 100 bars of soap. I mean, at least it's something, but you would think somebody with that amount of subs could do a little bit better. Why don't you do a whole fundraising stream, soap
Yeah.
seller person, in order to send all of your donations for one stream to that organization? That
Yes,
would be good.
that's
That's
a
a
good
fantastic
thing to
idea.
do. That's a good thing to do. And it's the fair way to do it.
Well, they don't do good
Absolutely.
things and they don't do fair things. They
No,
do greedy
no.
things.
No, and it's sad because Tracy had a point. The only thing that should matter today is Sebastian.
Yep. All right, I hear this gets ugly. Let's see.
You've got children with disability, and you've got a chick. He's the only one on the block because he's got no natural predators in his environment.
The fuck are you talking about?
Oh
What are
my
you talking
God.
about? What happened to all these neighbors that came forth and saw this child being abused? Now they don't exist. There's no men. You got one chick and one male on one street. What is he talking about? And he shut the camera off like it was a mic drop. That's not a mic drop.
Right?
What the hell is
That's
that?
a good way of putting it. And I
It's-
also like how you said, if you
a good way
can
of putting it.
maintain the social conscience, they think that they have a
What the
shot
hell's
with a
going on?
jury. And I said,
With the jury, they're not on trial. What is
No.
this?
And what makes me mad about that? Does he not realize that people with disabilities, any type of disabilities, are very vulnerable to predators? He can say what he wants to, but those kids with autism and disabilities are 10 times more likely to get hurt by a predator.
Well, they know that. They know that. But
they're
but
stupid if they don't.
right. But what they're saying doesn't even relate to that. He's basically just saying that Chris is the only male in the streets. The dumbest thing I've ever heard.
That's the stupidest thing.
And then to say that they're trying to beat a jury, they're not on trial.
And what is going unsaid is, in my opinion, or opinion, as a certain unfortunate non-smiley person would say, in my opinion, AB is trying to draw the audience to think that he is a predator, that he is the uber alpha male here in this situation. And if that is the case, I think Brooks running her lesbian channel is definitely the way to go. I'm converted. I'm ready for it. Let's go.
Oh, this is so weird.
It's strange as can be. But then again, AB's known for being strange.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's putting it nicely.
Yes.
About alpha
I'm
males,
trying
I
to
said
be
they don't
very
abuse children.
I'm trying to be polite.
No, I said my husband's an alpha male.
Oh, pause.
When the time
Brooks just said that alpha males don't abuse children.
Oh,
Now,
that's interesting.
unfortunately, if you look into the science of the situation, those with alpha male characteristics tend to be abusers more often.
Uh-huh.
Just because of the basic traits that a person has. I won't elaborate too much. Please go and read about it, find out about it for yourself. It's very interesting. But what Brooks has just stated is clinically, definitively incorrect.
Right.
That sounds about Brooks.
Time is right. He'll chew you up and spit you out.
Alpha males have women abuse them at their bidding. For free.
What?
No charge.
What?
That's what alpha males get.
He sounds so stupid.
Well, Mother's Day is this weekend.
Should they desire it? Is it Mother's Day this week?
Right, should they?
Yeah. Well, in America, I don't know about in Canada.
Well, thank you for
Oh,
reminding me.
God bless us.
Alpha males normally protect their home because, like I said, my husband's an alpha male. Let's just say you're an alpha male, AB.
Let's just say he's not.
We don't have any missing children around here.
No, mine's at school.
Yeah. Now, you helped me with something immensely yesterday, and if you don't want to talk about this, you don't. You don't have to.
You talking to me?
Yes.
I'll talk about anything.
Okay. Yeah, I'm talking to
know.
you. You're right. You're right here.
Right.
You sound like Robert De Niro. You
I was
talking to me?
confused.
They need to. Yeah, you got to remember, you're the only person on the fucking panel there, bruh. Alpha male. Keep up here.
Talking to
This
me.
is so
'Cause You
weird.
couldn't have been talking to me.
No, I'm just saying. No, I don't
in here.
I don't want anyone to feel like, they have to say anything. But when I've said
Excuse me.
talking about Sebastian, I've said, what is this locking away food? And you explained it to me yesterday as of other people. Could you please explain this? Because I want to give credit where credit's due.
Oh, please do, AB. Please do.
Here we go.
Well, I
Pause for fair use, but here we go. Here we go. All right. Well, that's how these people are describing alpha males. Like they're the hawk. I mean, come on, you can tell who doesn't really know what an alpha male is and isn't, but
I was thinking about that earlier today. I keep thinking about better ways to sum it up. And it's just there's been a conversation, and it's not really actually a natural conversation, it's just troll comments in that sense from my perspective. But the whole aspect about locking away food and keeping a lock or a restraint, or even change the term, a rope with two stickies on the end and a semi universal lock in between it, something that you'd use on a boat. So if the waves, when you're en route.
What?
can we just say he's speaking from experience again?
Well, there is one of those unfortunate hot mic moments that I referred to earlier that AB is audibly shouting, if not screaming, at his own daughter who has autism. He has said all of this. This is not spilling any secret. And it is in regards to food. She has gone into the kitchen and he is screaming at her in some very vile terms to remove herself from the kitchen. So maybe that's AB's preferred method of restricting food within his home. But okay, AB, okay.
And AB doesn't realize that there is a disorder that kids will overeat and they have to close their
Even all that aside, there's no proof that Sebastian was withheld food. There's just proof.
Right.
So it shouldn't even be a topic of discussion. It is a rumor. It's so ridiculous.
It's getting bad.
Emotion,
Absolutely.
everything doesn't fall out of your cupboards on you type of thing, right? But the point to it, like especially around here, because when you're really dealing with a child with sensory issues and autism, and they don't understand yes and no and rules, for example, or here my daughter has a problem with, for example, if you gave her a can of Coke, she would chug that whole thing right down every time instead of sipping it and enjoying it over a longer period of time. So maybe a half a glass of Coke, because that's hard on your system. She'll do the same thing with any sort of drink like that. So you got to watch it. You can't let her have the run of the place in that sense. But it's a preventative measure from not just losing your small investment in whatever you have in groceries in your house in order to nourish your family.
Oh, this is rich.
But it gives you a peace of mind, because when you're trying to instill routine.
Let me pause this really quick, because didn't people have a problem with the fact that Sebastian had a colossal size popcorn that he enjoyed going? What's the place called? It's the opposite of BJ's. Costco's to get the samples of the food there and everything. There's nothing saying this child was not eating.
He
It's
was
just-
eating.
this
He
is just, there's so many photos of him with food in front of him. This is just such a stupid conversation right now. And it was based off of somebody else's personal experience, and they are projecting their personal experience onto this family. And that's what's been happening this whole time. It's just not right.
And
Right.
and he thinks autistic kids are stupid in that they don't know what yes or no means. But the commenter is right. They do know what yes and no means if he would take the time to listen.
Right.
It's
Well,
what-
it's a spectrum. Not every two children are the same.
No.
And again, it's secondary to Sebastian's actual diagnosis, his
Right.
chromosomal deficiency.
Yes.
And because people don't understand that, or they don't want to take the time to learn about it,
Mm-hmm.
it's easier just for them to dehumanize Sebastian into a group of people that they clearly misunderstand.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Because autistic kids can be extremely bright. And
Well-
if you don't know something, ask. Because
Well,
that's
they
all
they don't. Oh, sorry, Paige. Go ahead.
that's all they want. You know, some understanding and a little bit of love.
Well,
That's all.
that's not what these creators are here to give. It's just
No,
not. They do the
no.
same thing as Summer Wells. They put these horrible allegations, unfounded, onto these children, and they try to paint this horrific vision of abuse that just is not backed up by any factual information. Hey, I'm Zen. Oh,
Teen in your household. Often what happens with children with disabilities is they just wait until, because they're humans, right? They're not as dumb as you perceiving them to be in that sense. They just wait until you turn your back and do everything behind your back and steal everything like kids do out of the cupboards
Steal
when
it.
you're sleeping at night.
Oh, so now they're sneaky and they just turn around and they steal. I think we're getting a lot of personal information here.
Yep, and he did refer earlier to giving them the run of the place.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
there's some dog.
Like he's not going to let a child take the run of
Right.
the home. Mhm.
I say dog, but my dogs are spoiled. They see me as the treat dispenser and toy carrier. That's my job, apparently. Children are no different, really. You're there to provide for their needs. And yes, you have to cater responsibly to their wants as well. Not every want is a need, but it's up to
Right.
you to moderate yourself at that point. And if your choice of moderation is to scream at a child, at
That's
that point
wrong
you need some
100%.
education. You need
Yep.
help at that point. And
Amen.
there's no problem with asking for help. Lots of people need help.
Right.
If you do
Right.
need help, reach out and get it. There is a multitude of resources out there, and they are very good,
Oh,
very
yes.
helpful.
It's definitely personal, Joe Madre. It's absolutely personal.
It just frustrates me.
Instead of waking
Oh, sorry.
It just frustrates me because I have an autistic godson who cannot speak, and he's 8 years old. And to hear some of the things he's saying just baffles me.
Yep. This is
Just
what people do. They take their own personal experience and they place it on the entirety. It's just stupid. I mean, especially if you have experience with autism, you of all people know there is a spectrum.
yes.
Ugh.
And he's
That's
forgetting
pretty
that. And he's forgetting that not every autistic child's alike.
Right.
Everybody's different.
Just everybody in general is different. Every child's different. I'm so sick of
Yeah.
the label of autism even being placed on it. It's not necessary. Every child
No.
is different. Oh, Lordy.
like kids do out of the cupboards when you're sleeping at night. So instead of waking up here, for example, and seeing a couple $1,000s worth of food on the ground, and not being able and having that
A
disrupt
couple
your
of
routine,
$1,000
Right.
of
I wish
food.
I
you
could
can't have
afford.
that happen.
Okay.
What's the definition of crazy? Doing the same thing, expecting a different result, right? You have to make a change. You have to do something. So putting a preventative device like, you can get a pack of 3 on Amazon for $10.
Do
Huh.
you have
They're
one
pretty
on your
common
fridge,
in the
AB?
world.
He
It's
does.
a
He
Yeah.
does.
safeguard. It's a safe measure to, prevent. It's like tightening the lid on the cookie jar type of thing. So little hands, it's
Oh,
like putting the
nervous
tennis ball
cough
on the
there.
doorknob. Okay. It's like child proofing your house.
Okay,
Right?
and that makes,
You're preventing. It's like you can't. It's no different than trying to convince a 3-month-old baby, why they can't do all these things. You wouldn't do that.
So if it came out today that the Proudfoots had a lock on their refrigerator, there would be no judgment from these two people on the panel right there.
Right. AB
Because it's
would be
preventative.
supportive. Yeah.
Right.
Yes. From what he's saying, he would be okay with that.
Yeah.
Right.
In
Yes.
fact, if there's recordings, if there happen to be in this theoretical world recordings of any parent shouting at Sebastian Rogers, that would also be okay with AB.
But yeah, it should be, right? I mean, preventative measures is way of life.
You just prevent all these things, right? Because they don't understand. That's what the lock on the fridge is for.
The non-existent lock on the fridge.
I really don't have to over-explain it.
Hey, Summer.
I totally understand now. So I'm not going to talk about,
So in this situation, why it's prevalent, it's just been brought up so many times in the case of Sebastian Rogers, because it would be another.
Has anybody heard a lock on the fridge being brought up in the case of Sebastian? I haven't.
I haven't either.
Put a 1 in the chat if you have never heard that. This is the first time I'm hearing about it.
Other situation. Well, excuse me. It would be another point of contention within that household that would be atypical of the types of challenges every other or most every other child or parents with autism would have been through and deal with.
Oh,
now let me ask you this.
That's interesting.
And I
Very
do
interesting.
not know about Sebastian's diagnosis. There is no way in the world that I would be educated enough to even speak on it.
You could go read it. You
I
can
know
go
there's
read
a
about it.
Read, Brooke.
sensory issue, which is one of the main reasons he would never walk outside without shoes on.
That's
and no
wrong.
patients are going to be
Well,
the
let
same.
me sum it up quickly before we even over-explain it.
Oh my
Here's why.
lord.
If he's got sensory issues, and every autistic child does, I haven't met one that doesn't yet, one way or the other. That can mean one of 5 different things. Think of our senses. Now, if he really was, if you were to believe the story that Katie and Chris present, as if he was just, they think he went out the front door barefoot with no clothes on in a freezing night. The child.
When did it ever say he went out the front door with no clothes on? That was never stated. It was never stated. Listen to this again.
Chris present as if he was just, they think he went out the front door barefoot with no clothes on in a freezing night.
It was never stated.
The child would not.
For those who are unaware, Sebastian was last seen wearing a long sleeve black shirt with one of 3 characters on it and black pair of old school Adidas type pants. It was never stated that he went out with no clothes on. This is the problem when drama creators jump in for views. They just make bullshit up.
Very far. He didn't start running across the country like fucking Forrest Gump. Okay, he wouldn't be.
What, AB?
He would be within out shaking, hovering in the closest.
Forrest Gump.
Yep.
Really? It's like that other creator, that smiley person. She gets a deliberate shout out on purpose, referring to a short bus repeatedly. The idiocy, and they deserve that word.
Yes,
most
they do.
richly for stating anything in terms of Sebastian Rogers. Comparing him to Forrest Gump.
Yep.
Is disgusting.
And then listen to what
he
idiotically says again after that.
He wouldn't be he would be within out shaking, hovering in the closest. Listen, he wouldn't last very long.
He'd be out shaking, hovering, because an AB's made up fantasy, along with where there's a lock on the fridge, this child ran out naked. No clothes on, naked. Hey, Batgirl.
Not going to be hiding under. He would be found dead, probably.
Oh, wow.
How can?
Wow.
I would think with the quickness, considering it was 26 degrees outside,
Exactly.
and he just has on
I sound like the Iron Sheik. Precisely.
So if they know all of this, and why does AB keep referencing movies? Do you get out much, bro? Enough with the movie references.
It
But
really doesn't seem like it. It seems like his entire frame of reference is entirely focused on
movies,
entertainment.
right? But what blows my mind, if they know there's a possibility, given that the weather that they're claiming was 26 degrees out, it was so cold that he's likely unalive, then why are they so convinced that he's elsewhere instead of the fact that this child could be in one of the many wooded areas? Unfortunately, and with their theory, going with only their theory, this is not my thoughts, and he just hasn't been found yet. Instead, they want to turn around and make up all these, Alaska and pipe and shipped off to these hidden locations and all of this. Right. It wasn't even 26 degrees out. I was going to say that, but I wasn't even sure, so I didn't.
Right. And it has also been stated that Sebastian has walked outside previously without his shoes on.
Yes.
There was
It
one
depends.
situation.
It depends on what the overriding nature is for that person or child
Yeah.
to be doing at that time. If they were searching for something, excited for something, there can be a million different motivations for that. But for somebody to reduce it down to the basic level of a sensory issue means that they did not full stop leave the house, it's ridiculous.
Well,
Well-
and it's stupid because there's one situation from his father years ago where fire ants bit his foot, and children change. These memories get forgotten. They forget a fear, or they just adjust. It changes every day. We can't go off the fact that one time years ago this happened, so now he never ever leaves the house without shoes. That's
stupid thing to say.
Right, and
It's
he did leave without shoes. Oh, they aggravate me.
I am
I sound
trying
like the
to
Iron
bite
Sheik
my
story. I
tongue
was
and
watching
be
too much wrestling.
polite.
I know.
Welcome to the club. It's rough.
Yeah.
I sound like the Iron Sheik. Sorry, I was watching too much wrestling earlier before I got on.
Wrestling.
And then you
Oh
have
my
the chromosome
God.
deletion as well.
Oh, that's right, Brooks. Don't forget that
I
one.
mean, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, there is a lot going on, and compounded that that would equate to developmental delays. But let me tell you, only in some things, like the autism, and is just interfering with things because, listen, he's playing chess. There's certain things that he can figure out and do well, complex processes in the mind.
You don't even fucking know this. He doesn't even know this fucking kid. He doesn't even know Sebastian is to claim all of this about him. You don't know him.
Interesting little chap to watch. Especially when
Little
he's
chap.
dancing at the Nashville Predators game.
Yeah.
You could see where perhaps Sebastian in an environment with a person like Chris, and it always escalating, even though this pressure washer incident sounds bad. Let me tell you something. When you have a child with autism and you're out in public, you're looked upon like people are looking upon Chris and excuse me, Katie.
Projection.
Now, the same way people are wondering what the fuck they're having a meltdown about, or what this crazy behavior is about. Generally, for the first 10 years, I just walk around with cards in my pocket. Now I'm not care, but I'm prepared to throw down at any time, because there's people out there that take offense to the crazy behavior, and you've got to fight people off. There's all kinds of preventative measures that you should probably have
is
with
wrong with
when you
you?
have your child in public with you, just so that the other person knows that they're dealing with a child that has a specific disability, and that's what they're really just experienced. You've been touched by autism in that sense. That's why I have little cards, because my daughter, when she's in a bad mood, sometimes just randomly pinch a stranger walking by, and I know that's gonna fucking come back to haunt me someday. I'm like, geez, I can see where I could probably, somebody would take that the wrong way, and it happens all the time. You see the news reports all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't talk.
A lot of when we go in public is safeguarding my child in that sense. They have to be the same way in that circumstance.
Why would they have to be the same way when their child was diagnosed a year ago? All we are hearing is his personal experience, his personal outlook, because of his personal life. You cannot project your personal experiences onto every experience.
No.
Fun water balloon fight is abuse. Right, 10.
And if we're taking AB's words as gospel, I say if, he of all people should have more understanding of the situation, that things are not always as they would seem to
Well,
the
Yes.
outsider.
on
Yes.
one hand, it sounds like he is. On the other hand, he's still pleasing the audience that he has gained by bashing the Proudfoots, because
Right.
you can hear him making excuses for them, but then he goes right back to what his audience
Yep.
wants, what he built it
This
off of.
hits home for me because I lived with brain damage, me, and I saw what people did to me, but that doesn't mean I will put that on everybody else.
Right. I'm
And
sorry that
what
you
he is
experienced that.
doing, and what he is doing makes me so sick because he's lumping all autistic children into one little lump.
Yep. Doing them all a disservice in one easy
Yes.
swoop. Every single child and person that
And
experiences that, including his own daughter.
I don't
Amen.
know who made the comment, but she said that they get a lot of times autism diagnosis for school purposes. And
Right.
that is so true. That is so true. Because my sister was a special education teacher and she had multiple students who had gotten autism diagnoses because she looked at that and said, something's not right. But amen to the person who commented that.
Yeah, there's not much more I can listen to AB, honestly.
So they
I
don't want to
can't.
play that game. They don't talk about their relationship with Sebastian and their experience with him
Yes, they
in that
do.
manner.
It's not a
the opposite.
game.
They're so turtled in this. You can't get any information out of them.
But I just want to address two things, right? When he's saying right here, they don't talk about that aspect of it, but they do, and people tore them apart for it. They've come out and they have stated, even Seth would say, I call and ask, how was his behavior today? They did give us cues that there were difficulties going on, but people took that and twisted that the same way people can take what AB is saying and twist it to make him look like a monster. Okay, as what they did to the Proudfoots. They absolutely have shared more than enough, more than anybody is entitled to when it comes to their personal dealings with Sebastian, while trying to keep Sebastian's integrity, unlike Seth did. This is so stupid. It's aggravating.
I hardly trust any part of the scenario that they've presented. Okay, I understand that they're careful. Who cares? But this is not a natural situation. These people know what fucking happened, and it's not the same as the story that they presented people.
Okay, AB, because
how many more times do we have to dissect and smash this story apart? And they're just running and denying, and they're not there to talk about it.
Thank you so much, Nonsense.
Here's our
Thanks so
story.
much.
You don't like it. That's your prerogative, but you're still going to have to buy it because that's the police report. And that's what they want to carry on with. Get fucked.
Why
Well, to
is
me,
why is he taking it so personal with like the get fucked and this and that? Well, because you would handle things differently, because you had different experiences. That means all of theirs is lies. What is this? I can't even listen to it. We're skipping forward. I can't even
But for
listen to it.
me, he's forgetting there is a little life out there somewhere and he's still missing.
Mm-hmm.
And it saddens me because everybody's forgotten him. Everybody.
I don't think everybody has, but you're right. This is definitely taking the forefront. And I touched on this in the beginning because there's a catch-22. Part of it does keep Sebastian's name out there, right? The drama does keep it going. But then the other part is the unfortunate part that, like you said, he becomes an afterthought.
Yeah. And it's not helping the investigation either.
No, of course
No.
not.
I wonder
Never
if
does.
all of these creators realize how damaging they could be to this investigation someday if they want to get
well,
they just don't.
Tying in with your thought and to give you a wee moment to breathe, because we all, a lot of us rather, feel that way. We do. I can relate to how you feel right now.
Absolutely.
But an unfortunate creator who loves Granny very, very much was stating yesterday, in fact, that she should just be allowed to say whatever she likes on her show, her channel,
Ugh.
about all the things. And if you don't like it, don't watch. You have no right to comment. You just go on about your merry business. And while it is absolutely her or anyone else's responsibility to put out whatever they want, there's also the right to reply. There is the right
Yes.
to correct. There is the right to inform, correctly inform, especially when it's something that is as serious as a missing child.
Yes.
That's where there's a vested interest. It's unfortunate for certain creators that they keep involving themselves in such a desperately ridiculous way in these cases. But while they do that, their name will keep being brought up by a multitude of people.
Yes.
Shout out to nonsense. Hey.
Is this the
And
the
it's wild.
is it the same creator that listens to everything I say, pays
Yes.
for a membership
Yes.
to my channel, and
Yeah.
twists it all the time? That creator?
That one. Yeah.
That one. Oh, so again, it's one of those situations where, do as I say, not do as I do, because, well, she doesn't take her own advice. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, people can say, you can say whatever you want, and people can say whatever they want in response. There's no, you don't dictate like, oh, I get to do this and you can't do that. No. Oh, I know, Genevieve. That's what I keep saying. When you point out their behaviors and their wrongdoings, it is bullying. When they actually bully victims of crimes and do all that stuff, it is
Yes.
advocating. They have it so ass backwards.
And in the end, Sebastian is still forgotten by some people.
Yep.
Because I wonder how Brooke can sit there and just listen to this and let it happen.
Oh,
But
because it's views, because she had over 1,000 people in there listening to it too. As so long as the viewers view it, it will continue. It's unfortunate.
yeah, unfortunately.
Apparently, this is where it gets really ugly. So let's brace ourselves. Everybody brace. We're
Buckle
ready.
in.
Buckle in. Oh,
The
boy.
same story that they gave law enforcement. He, in a sense, he's to sum it all up. He said,
Can I just pause really quick and point out that I skipped an entire section, but yet it sounds like we picked up right where we left off?
Oh, yeah.
What he was saying, the same thing. Like, they want us to believe the story they put on the police report, skipped it, and then here we are, the same conversation taking place.
Yep.
Okay. Interesting.
saying it's nobody's business what they told law enforcement. He's giving you a shortened version of it, and we have to protect all of this because it's an it's an open investigation, split hairs. And he's really doing a song and dance for everybody while sheltering the reality in what we're actually talking about right now, which is what's really interesting. Is your fucking lives.
What?
So it really opens everything, every opportunity, or everything back up, because what's really true. You don't like speculating, you don't like brainstorming, well, you better tune into another channel, because people are going to speculate like nobody's fucking business now.
People are also going to speculate on you like nobody's business now because of what you put out in this stream. So keep that energy.
And it's okay to give an opinion. It's okay to say in
Absolutely.
society,
Please give more.
there's a child missing.
Oh, now you remember.
Now
And something's
remember.
not adding up. A child goes missing, a
Yep.
child is found, unless something really, really, really nefarious has happened.
Why does she always talk like that?
I don't know. There's another creator that does similar, and it completely freaks me out. I don't know whether they think they're engaging people by doing that with their little comedic voices, but it's just weird. It's like, stop
Yeah,
that.
it's strange to me. It is. I can't listen to her more than 5 minutes.
Did you know statistically only 1 out of every 10,000 missing children are not found alive? Found alive. 1 out of every 10,000 missing children. Every 90 seconds, a child goes missing. 9% of child abductions are masterminded by a family member due to a custody dispute. Child abduction statistics. I'm trying to find how many are actually. Okay, of the most dangerous cases in the U.S., the recovery rate for missing children rose to 97% in 2011, which is up from 62% in 1990. Looking for how many children are actually missing children are actually found. Let's see, how many missing children are found?
Right, because
Well,
the most likely scenario for most children is an unfortunate runaway situation for most children, or they have gone to play somewhere, or something very, very simple, and therefore they are found usually very
found.
quickly. That's an amazing
Yeah.
thing. That's fantastic. But it doesn't always work out like that. We know that.
No.
right. People
And
agree
the one case I remember is the mom took the child to a foreign country, and they had to go through the court to get him back.
Right.
But he was found 5 years later.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people have to remember that sometimes they are found alive. You just never know.
Absolutely. There's a recent case of an autistic child that unfortunately ran away and was found years later. I mean, it happens.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. Now,
And more than people are willing to admit.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely. Because that's not salacious. That's
Right.
not going to
No.
get people in your chat. That's
That's
not going to
right.
get
That's
donations.
not going to get money.
It's not, well, most importantly, it's not going to catch the news lines, right? Unfortunately, the happy endings aren't usually circulated the way that the horrible endings are.
See, and
Yep.
that is, to me, just wrong, because if you show the happy endings, people will more likely get involved later if there's a missing child later. If the happy endings are found, they should put them out there. Like the autistic child in the woods that the canine found, a dog found.
All right, let's hear what he says. Oh, sorry, Paige.
I want to.
Sorry, Paige. I didn't realize.
That's okay.
Yeah, Joe Madre, on one hand, she's so significant. She's so, powerful. And then on the other, she's so irrelevant. It just blows your mind.
Address this comment from Lala615. I don't think I have to worry about y'all's cult being distracted. Y'all seem pretty close-minded.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's talk about
y'all. We're close-minded. You've got some slack-jawed yokel in your chat using a word like y'all.
Yeah.
You know how many people use the word?
Talk about
how many people use the word y'all?
Well, there's a creator that I will deliberately not name that AB was recently supporting who uses that word or that conjunction constantly.
And he wouldn't
so
like
it's
me.
interesting.
He wouldn't like me either, because y'all is my favorite word.
Right. So many people use that word. I mean, come on.
Y'all.
Y'all.
I'm the one that changed the story. I'm not the one that's changed the story. I'm not the one with a media manager. I'm not. I mean, come on.
If AB just said, go suck on this. This is so professional.
He sure did.
Media manager. I'm not. I mean, come on. Let's
go suck on this, followed by him snorting back his boogers. Listen to that again.
Media manager. I'm not. I mean, come on.
Gross.
Let's go through what y'all are doing, and it's not me.
Hey, Seth, how's your new media manager, buddy?
Here comes the turn of the ties. Turn of the ties. Here they come. We called it weeks ago. Me and Chasen were on this panel weeks ago and said this is going to take place, and apparently it is.
I knew it.
Pascal was doing it. JLR's doing it, and here we go. Brooks is doing it.
This is a bullshit fucking deal. You're lying to people, pandering to the fucking masses to pad your fucking pockets. Didn't your own mummy tell you about the people who were around the Sebastian Rogers motivated just by the fucking dollar? What's your mom going to see when she sees your behavior sitting in that truck eating fucking donuts when you should be out looking?
Now, you guys know how I feel, so I'm going to just say that for now. Yes, Cass Eyes, please hit the thumbs up. All right.
Just driving around to these different locations, making an appearance. Who the fuck are you, Sammy Davis Jr.?
Wow.
Well, importantly,
next thing you'll be snorting them.
Oh, wait a minute.
Where is
locations making an appearance?
Sorry.
Where is the outrage from the creators?
Right, where's Brittany? Where's Brittany?
Chat, we stand with Seth, etc.
Yes.
Why are they not losing their tiny minds over this.
As much as I have pointed out my inconsistencies that I've noted with Seth, I have never said anything as gross as what you're going to hear here. Yet I have had people come after me and allege that I've done the most horrific things to Seth, and they are friends with this channel. So I expect to see and hear all of you. Yeah, that's right. She fell asleep on her own fucking stream again. Maybe take a damn break.
Who the fuck are you, Sammy Davis Jr.? On all those fucking drugs? Next thing you'll be snorting them.
Oh, what an
All these fucking
allegation.
pills.
Wow.
Can't pronounce your T's or P's.
Oh,
AB, you are
Now,
an
in all
idiot, moron.
fairness, that is from his shoulder injury.
oh,
Don't
and
care.
oh,
She's a doctor now.
I
But
don't
nobody
care. Take a fucking aspirin. Take a fucking aspirin.
oh.
I
nobody
don't care about your tolerance
a
to
media
opiates.
manager at all. And
Fucking
if
care
you-
about your fat ass fucking injury, you fat cow.
Wow.
Why don't you
And
drop
no-
60 fucking pounds? Take a walk.
Wow.
ooh, the
Fucking,
chat
oh,
is
poor fucking me. Oh, look at my fucking dope addiction. Oh my god.
Oh, look at my dope addiction. Yikes. Yikes. Where you at? Where you at? Wake up. I have never said some shit like this.
If anybody has listened to AB before, they might be on the same train of thought that I am, that is the reason that AB has decided to go on Brooks's channel, to say
Yep.
just this.
Yes,
I
yes.
would agree.
I would,
Big Pharma
after
fucking
listening
made
to him for a lot of years. Yeah.
Yep.
me.
Mm.
Oh, look at my fucking dope addiction. Oh my god, Big Pharma fucking made a sucker out of Seth. Get
Do you
fucking
want
loser.
him to buy your products, AB? Is that what
No
you
wonder
want now?
Chris fucking controlled you, Seth, so fucking easily. You're a bitch.
Mm. He's talking about Seth.
oh, there's my husband. He says, people like that make me sick. How
I'm up here arguing to myself. Seth's not really in my chat. I'm just
People like that make me sick. Hey, how can I turn this whole tragedy into me? You mean like your wife's panel guest has done this entire stream? Like
Right.
that? Where he has projected his own inner feelings and thoughts because of his own life experience with his own living arrangements? Wow. And then this is all laughable, right? Oh wow.
Yeah,
This is
it's
horrible.
hilarious.
I'm up here arguing to myself. Seth's not really in my chat. I'm just sitting here having this weird fucking one-way conversation with some person in my mind just for.
Yeah, because you sound nuts, bro. You first off, it's not your chat. You're on Brooks's channel. You're not in your chat. Secondly, you are speaking to yourself. This is weird. This is so weird. Put a 1 in the chat if you find this all to be weird. And you're right, Jet. Matter of fact, a lot of the panels he visits and people that have recently co-signed him have experienced drug addiction and or some recovery. This
Yep.
is fucking weird. Lots
But
of
he's-
ones coming in.
And he's only choosing to say this here now. He's deliberately antagonizing for clicks,
Yes.
views, all the things. It's
That's
not
what
about
he does.
Sebastian. None
And
of
he's
it.
done that so many times.
Yep.
Wow.
For the sake of people's entertainment. I'm kidding.
How can I turn this whole tragedy to me?
But it's factual. That's how much I give a fuck.
He won't
That's
even
what
let
you can
Brooks
do with
talk.
your goddamn Cash App, Seth. You want money? Fucking go work for it.
That's what my husband said yesterday. He just needs to go back to
Fuck,
work.
the last thing I would be doing was
Oh, your husband said it yesterday too. He needs to go back to work. Okay. So now true feelings come out. Why is that? Because Seth is no longer going to be doing their little shock value panels anymore. I fucking called it weeks ago. Weeks ago, I called this happening.
Oh, yeah.
with the missing child is ever pushing a fucking Cash App on somebody's YouTube channel. You're a fucking idiot, pal.
Oh.
And that's what people are going to remember. And your moms, you've got your moms up there at a goddamn vigil talking about other people making money off the case. Your own son's walking around with the Cash App, moron.
Wow. Let's go check out the date that Granny called this one.
Fucking idiots down there who think praying is gonna fucking do something so itchy to goddamn give you a couple $100 fucking bucks in the moment. How can you pass that up? We see it every fucking day.
Why is he so upset again about money? Did you know what I've always told you guys? Some of you are new here. A lot of you have been here. I've always said, listen to what people are saying and take away what they're not saying. That's where you'll find the most value. For AB, from the moment he was on this panel to where we're at right now, close to the end, he has mentioned money, 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 money. That should tell you what his forethought is.
And that is all he cares about.
Oh, come up and tell us
yep.
what we want.
Oh, shit. Yep. Obviously. And that's what he keeps mentioning.
That made me laugh. Sorry.
I'm like, oh. I keep forgetting. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting. You guys.
It was funny.
Reese, he is talking about Seth.
Yep. And traders. But guess what? I got torn to bits by good old Brittany fucking falling asleep Jay over there. Couldn't find her way out of a fucking paper bag for pointing out that JLR said that. She took it as if I said it because that's what Brittany does. Misinformation, disinformation, twisted shit. But nobody has a problem with JLR saying it. You know why? Because JLR offers them something that I don't. So they will continue to kiss his ass and Brooke's ass and likely now AB's ass and act like this was never stated here today.
Mystic Firefly, I was laughing at Granny and her little fumble. That's what I was laughing at there.
Yeah.
It's not whatever.
Not the unhinged rambling of this psycho. Right. No, it was me going.
It was funny. That part was funny.
I get so angry. I'm sorry.
Fucking day. Oh, come up and tell us what we want to hear, Seth. Come up and fucking tell us what we want to hear, please, so we can. You're just as fucking guilty in this. You did nothing for that boy. You let him go. Now you're wanting to get paid for it.
Wow.
Why did the private investigator step away?
I got torn apart for asking that. Fuck you. Fuck you all. No, this is bullshit. Where are you at, Brittany? Because I know you're watching, bitch, because you pay me. You're a #1 paying fan. Where are you at? You had a big problem with me saying the same exact thing the other day. Why did so many people walk away from Seth? And here is your buddy saying it, right? Here is your friend saying it. Are you going to have the balls, Brittany, to address her the same way you address me? Or is she too valuable to your channel? Does she not offer you the same victim card that I do? Oh, I'm angry.
Fucking lying. They're sucking on it. They're milking the fucking tits of the malleable.
This is so gross.
You definitely are.
Yeah, I think it's because law enforcement would not give them any more information because loose lips sink ships.
Oh,
and when you have Seth and Chris all over social media, they are going to have a drink or something, and they're going to release what has been said. And so when the well is dry, there's no reason to put the bucket down in there.
Is that what happened, Brooks? Did the well get dry for you? So now you're switching on them like we knew you would. No reason to put the bucket under Seth anymore because he doesn't offer you the content that he once was when you guys were over there eating up everything he was saying that you're now screaming at other people for doing. It is very ironic nonsense. Very ironic.
It pisses me off, the hypocriticalness of all of this.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Because Brooks, the reason why law enforcement will never say right now what they have is because they're trying to get an investigation, and they don't say. And they will never say because that's just what they do. What part of that does she not get?
Yep. Oh, those texts that are allegedly from Chris, get wrecked. There's no proof that he would ever type or say that type of stuff.
Right. I just want to stuff a sock in her mouth to shut them both up.
Yep. Nope, I was never this disrespectful. I just said uncolorful, unfavorable things, but I never disrespected him like this. Ever, ever.
No, you never have. And yeah, I've had red flags about Seth, but I've never said them.
Oh, I've said them, but I never said them so distastefully, ever.
Right. It's like, he's disgusting.
This is crazy, man.
There's no reason to put the bucket down in there.
I would never say this shit on my own channel, by the way.
Well, thank you for bringing it here.
I go, you know what? I would be so much more diplomatic over my own channel. I don't mind coming to other channels and just letting my honest opinion fucking out. And I think that's a lot of what we were looking at with Peter.
Uh,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if you take a little look at that, that's
Yeah.
interesting because
Oh,
people are deliberately overlooking that, I think. I don't know whether they're choosing to on purpose because it doesn't suit the story they want to portray, and that seems to be the way. But if you look at that particular post,
yep.
she tells you what she's doing.
Let's look that up.
but it's sickening what she's doing, though. She's allowing him to spout crap.
Yeah, of course.
And it's just sickening that she's doing it.
Might have
Yep.
said what Peter was thinking. Anyway.
I didn't realize I
don't
took it off
mind
the
coming to other
screen.
channels. I go, you know what? I would be so much more diplomatic over my own channel. I don't mind coming to other channels and just letting
Oh,
my
he's so
honest opinion
diplomatic.
fucking out. And I
Yep.
think that's a lot of what we were looking at with Peter Hyatt in the early on, wasn't it? The same sort
If
of
she
thing.
is diplomatic, I'm the
without-
Queen of Sheba.
I think I just might have said what Peter was thinking. Anyway, you know, you can only sit here and look at so much abuse of a vulnerable individual before you say something. It's not just one fucking thing.
Hey,
It's
Reese.
the totality of it, you three freaks. And all of a sudden there's cash apps thrown around thinking that you've got all the
Is it all of a sudden, or have you and even Brooks, not AB, but has Brooks and people of such been throwing it around for him? Now is a problem? It's not all of a sudden.
No,
Right.
it's
Go ahead,
Right.
PJ, sorry.
Where was AB whenever there was the fundraising efforts for Seth? Where was AB then? Was he
nowhere.
over on Brooks's channel then saying maybe, you know, this guy should get back to work? Maybe this guy could find a different income source. Was he saying that then on
No, of course
Brooks's
not.
channel?
He's relatively new to jumping onto the Sebastian bandwagon, actually. So no, of course.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Brooks thought she was going to have this very special guest come up today, and oh yeah, he sure did. He made a special.
these drops at just the right moments to keep people's hopes there. They can't figure out if it's AI or not. Get the fuck out of here. All of you can take these fucking things and fuck off.
I can tell you right now, if that picture is real, like I said, Lester Holt on NBC Nightly News would be covering it.
Right, exactly.
There would be an update from law enforcement.
It's not a
Oh,
genuine
there.
speech
Well,
in that sense.
on that note, there
Maybe.
is an
False
important thing.
hopes and
Maybe.
There are two current news reports. If you go and search for them, you can find them. I'll make this real quick. All you have to do is type in Sebastian Rogers sighting or something like that, and you will find there are two articles in particular that refer to the grandfather mountain photograph that everyone is talking about, and they both state that law enforcement have said there are no credible leads. Now,
Right.
that's where they differ very drastically. One news report takes that statement and then shares information about Sebastian Rogers and carries on.
Yeah.
The other news report takes the opinion of no credible leads, means that the photograph was fake.
Yes. Yes.
And that's interesting, even just in published news. So what you make of that is your own, but it's the information is there. Go find it. It's very interesting.
Penny. Yes, that is so true. Because law enforcement will not say a lot. Because what they do is they hold back things for in case they have a suspect later on down the road that they want to prove credible. Then they have to hold back. And if they know it, that's how they know that there's a suspect. So law enforcement, as much as AB thinks, they won't say a lot.
Thank you, Vibrator. You as well. Well, the fact is that they're investigating. And no, they're not going to say a lot of anything.
No.
Stay safe with the storms, Vibrator. Thank you for being here. It is sickening, Booberry. It is. And it gets pretty.
Of a fabricated story at the end of the day. And Seth is really actually protecting that fabricated story as though it's this gospel in this scenario. When each day that goes by, we uncover a little bit more, like that dent in the garage door, and now all of these things are really coming through, verified by corroborating stories by the neighbors.
Corroborating stories. The neighbors, right? The fake neighbors. I thought there was no neighbors on the street.
Were they playing baseball in the driveway? Was
Maybe.
it a hailstorm?
Could have been.
That came from the inside. That's a dent from the inside going out.
Maybe he ran back the
Who
car
was
in.
on the inside?
Oh, I don't know.
Just the only tenant.
Pennywise.
Oh, okay. I got to look that up.
Yeah, look
All
that
right,
up.
guys. I don't mean to cut it short,
Oh,
but
yes,
I have
you
to
do.
get to something. I want a huge round of applause for our friend AB.
Oh, the
Oh,
live
golf.
cast off.
The golf
Red Bull.
clap
I got a
again
little
is
chatty.
splendid.
I get too excited on my Red Bull.
No, we love it. You're the guest.
Here comes the clappy hands. I want to point this out. This is a creator who was also very upset, co-signs Brittany J, that was upset at what I had to say about Seth. But here she is saying, great discussion. Thanks, guys. This was a delight.
Right? That's why that whole thing was worth sitting through, because we're
Yeah.
on no breaking information. They constantly and effectively contradict themselves and
Yep.
each other the entire way through, negating their own
Yes.
previous arguments and everything else they've ever stated, and yet somehow leave thinking it's been a wonderful time.
Right. Like even this one. AB plus common sense into parenting.
No, he doesn't.
I think they're going to find out a lot.
Yes. I've watched AB for years, and this is what he does. It just is a circular argument with him.
Yeah.
He gets something into his head, and then he'll just go on and on and on and on and not make any sense.
AB is a self-stated troll. He enjoys
yeah.
antagonizing a situation. That's what he does. But
Oh,
that
yeah.
in itself should have no place within a true crime investigation or
No.
coverage.
No. And he's doing it because he can and because Brooke let him.
Look at
Right?
this comment here. Look at this comment. Do you go to bed fully dressed, long Adidas pants and a long sleeve shirt? You do if you sleep in a damn garage. Wow.
And you do in Ohio winters.
And you do if you choose to. I mean,
Yeah.
what the
Right.
hell is that?
Well, it's another thing that AB is currently running with as well. The reported suggested sleeping arrangements within that home, and who was where and where was what, and yet suddenly everybody's in the garage all at the one time. It's a lot. It's almost like he's just making up shit as he goes along.
And look at this. It was not 26 degrees that night. According to the weather reports, it was 24 degrees. You're correct. The low on February 25th was 28 degrees. The low on the 26th was 55 degrees. You go by the low temp on February 26th, not the 25th. People have a hard time grasping this. So where does she get 24 degrees and these people are getting 55? It was warm enough until the 28th. It dipped to 35 and then 30 on the 29th. They can't even figure out the fucking weather.
Yay!
This is unbelievable.
Right, now you know why I was laughing. It's that sort of like you just don't even know what to do anymore. It's like
Yeah.
that's the only response at this point is, oh
It's
my
like,
God.
what else are they going to come up with?
Right.
Whatever fits the current mood of the day, apparently, because all of us that have been saying these unfavorable things about Seth, but in a much nicer and calmer way, we're ripped apart for it. And yet here they are saying it in horrifically gross ways, calling him a dope fiend, a drug addict, telling him to go exercise, go back to work, all
Go
these horrific
snort
things.
this.
Right. And yet I hear nobody speaking out today. I've heard the only person I seen, because it was sent to me as I was live, was Nonsense. Aside from that, I have seen none of these people that have sat on that podcast that call themselves friends with that show, call out that show for allowing that behavior.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
In fact, well, AB in particular, compared Sebastian Rogers to Forrest Gump.
That
Right.
was
That's right.
disgusting. That was
right.
absolutely disgusting.
Right. And how would the neighbors even know if he was sleeping on a mattress in the garage? And you mean to tell me, are these, listen, I don't have a garage. So I don't have a garage door, but I do see plenty of them with dents in them. Can somebody tell me how 100-pound, allegedly 105 to 120-pound child is making such a big indent in it to begin with?
Yeah.
Like, are they that easily indented? I'm genuinely asking because I just don't
Not
know.
necessarily, because garage doors you can crash through and it would just splinter. 100-pound boy could not do that because he's not strong enough.
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
It's
It
not.
wouldn't
He's
seem to
not.
me.
He's so tiny. He wouldn't be able to even make a dent in that.
Well, it also depends on a whole lot of variables that involve so much speculation that at that
Yes.
point you're just plucking ideas out of the sky. It might
Yeah.
as well have been aliens, right, AB?
But AB likes to speculate, and that is just, yeah. I just, and the fact that Brooks allows that and never stopped him once makes me wonder about her too.
I was looking for a photo. So here's the alleged dents in the garage that people are claiming come from the inside. Hell, where are you getting
How?
that? This is what they're claiming is the big, huge indent on the inside. And there's
How?
also dents on the outside. So what is that? Like, what? Are they implying that Sebastian was stuck in there and he was trying to break out of it? I mean, come on.
And that's a big enough dent. He's too little. That would have had to have, and I'm just saying, this is my opinion, that a bigger person could have made that, or it could have just been weather.
It looks the height of a car to me, quite
Yeah,
frankly.
like
I mean,
a
it could be
car hit it.
anything.
Yeah,
It's so
and it's
stupid.
just,
And in fairness, AB has also suggested that theory in connection with some other things that are a bit more unfortunate. But it could have been anybody driving a car at any point.
yes.
That's
We don't
crazy.
know. We have nothing to compare it to. We don't have pictures from 6 months ago, a year
No,
ago, any of the things.
because it looks car height, though. Now that she said it, it looks like car height. A car could have done it. Who knew? Who knows? But why say it like it's fact?
Well, and most drunk people are not going to school. They're not working a job. They're not taking care of a household. They're not doing all the things. So I don't know how drunk she could be, but that's a nice thought of yours. What sucks when you had a slick spot pulling up to your garage. Yeah, I did that before.
Right.
Oh, there's
Or
Robin calling the shows.
how many people have it's something I don't personally have because I don't have that garage situation, but you see people with those tennis balls attached to a piece of string hanging from their garage roof to help them park because they're maybe parking in a
Yes,
smaller space. um like it's not uncommon for people to make mishaps. I don't
Right.
understand where he thinks he's found the clue to all things.
but I don't trust JLR either.
I don't even think it was JLR that put this out in speculation first.
Really?
But I agree. I mean, nonetheless, it's still one of those things where it's like it could be 1,000 different reasons. People will always make the negative reason they want. It's just
Yeah.
exactly.
just
That's
stupid.
it. We don't know. That's the whole point. We have no idea. No
Right.
idea.
Well, I do appreciate you ladies coming up with me today. This was
Okay.
quite interesting.
Thank you
Very
for having me
interesting.
up, Granny.
Thank you for
I'm
having me
sorry
up
for
too.
talking so much, but there's so many things to be said, and
No,
I'm
you did not
grateful.
talk too much at all. I appreciate the insight. Where do you think this is going next? What do you think the next move is with all these people?
I think they're going to bash Seth more and more and more and more and more and more.
Well,
and it's
probably.
going to get hellaciously bad quickly.
And you,
Because
Miss Wee?
when somebody like AB started it, but people are going to pick up on that and just go with it and start getting nastier and nastier. And all the while they're forgetting Sebastian.
Yeah.
I think that everyone is going to take a moment, they're going to reflect, they're going to remember that Sebastian Rogers is a missing 15-year-old child. They're going to consider the information that law enforcement has put out and the fact that he is still missing. And
Mhm.
they're going to focus their content purely on helping the search for that missing child. Now, see, Brooks, that's how you do sarcasm. You're welcome.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Yes. Brooks is going to get nastier and nastier and nastier.
Well, the more people that cheered it on, the more that will likely happen for
Yes.
sure.
And it's just sad
Yep.
because Sebastian is a beautiful child that's still missing. Let's
Yep.
keep him first and foremost in everybody's mind. And that's what I'm going to do because he's a precious child. He's still missing.
Amen.
He's
Thank
still
you.
missing. And we have to do what we can do to keep his name out there respectfully.
Absolutely.
Say this is wrong what you are doing.
That's right, Paige. That's all we can do.
Yeah, because we can say this is wrong 100% of the time what you are doing.
It's a sad reality.
But
All right, ladies.
Right.
Have a good
Thank
day,
you, Granny.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
I believe that they're running out of content for the channel now that Dad and Stepdad not on here, and so they're just grabbing whatever they can, and it looks like a car has hit that. Amen. We knew this would come. We knew this would happen. Again, this is about Sebastian. Sebastian is a 15-year-old child. There are no real answers right now. The speculation is just that speculation. There's nobody verified these so-called neighbors and the cousins. Matter of fact, I have information from somebody who would know more than anybody else that nobody else in that neighborhood recognizes that so-called neighbor. Nobody else can confirm what that neighbor said. And it's not a case of everybody on the street saw this happening. And if it were, there would be police reports to back it up. Start asking for actual evidence to this speculation. It's the only way to stop the speculation and call them and stop them in their tracks, is to ask for the evidence. Run from story because that's how he pays his bills. Care less if any of these people are found or what happens next. That's sad, Terry. Amen, Lippy. If you haven't, please consider hitting a thumbs up. I appreciate you all being here with me today. This was a long stream, 3.5 hours. Yeah. And unfortunately, all we heard was a bunch of bullshit again. I expect and hope to see those who had such a problem with those of us who pointed out these red flags prior to your favorite so-called friendly creator doing so, speaking up at this. We can say a lot of things about Seth, but we have never gotten that nasty, nor would we ever. Blows my mind. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Be safe, have fun, and I'll see you all here tomorrow. Thank you.